really start?
Yeah, if you move the 3D printer up on top of the shelf instead of on your desktop. That's nice. Yeah.
Was that buzzing? Is that what's the buzzing?
Yeah, that's what that buzzing is.
Okay.
It's got a 3D printer.
Is it printing?
Yeah.
What's it printing?
You have to ask him. I don't know.
Secret things.
Last time he was saying that he was printing components for board games.
He's really turning the feeling.
Yeah.
It's artificing.
Yeah, he's making his own little stuff.
Hello.
Hello.
Hola.
Sorry to be creepy.
That's fine.
Knock it off.
To the obstacle course.
How dare you be here?
My wife is so bad at canes.
Because you want some?
Yeah.
Oh, what you do? You get some for lunch tomorrow. You bring it to her.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Brownie points.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna take her. I'm gonna force her to go to the movies, and we'll go to Canes first. Get a sitter, take her to Canes, because by the time I bring it back to Cottage Grove, it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's edible, but it's not.
It's like that. Like it was fine. It was good, but it wasn't.
Right. That's like any.
You have an air fryer?
It broke. We had an all-in-one air fryer and it broke.
How did you? What?
I headbutted it. It didn't make it good. Yeah, I told it make the food good. It didn't make it.
Make a food good.
Make the food good.
Do you headbutt other things that don't do well? Is your child in
It's
danger?
like Rosa can barely stand up. You won't find out.
It's always woozy.
Can you imagine coming home? Like, what happened? Luca headbutt me. Like, what? Is he the nice one?
The nice one. Like
That's what Kevin says.
Becca's the not nice one. Alright. So we should be live now, so we can.
Oh, we're live? I don't headbutt my daughter.
No, that. Oh yeah, all that was. The FBI is gonna be at your, or at least the Child Protective Services is gonna be at your door.
As long as it's not INS. I'm a citizen now. They can't get rid of me.
Yeah, say you're
Well,
fine.
the IRS is the scariest one.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what happened last time? On to,
The
yeah.
boat stuff.
Boat
Alright.
stuff. All right, that's it.
It's kind of the theme of this
Good.
campaign. Last session was called Through Night and Gale.
It was.
Where did we end up? Council collapses. The group turns the ship to collect Council.
Yeah.
He looks the same. No more mangling of his body. Oh, excuse me. Unfortunately, Tizol's left eye is gone.
It does. Nice.
Council destroyed his eye when he went berserk. Revan gives Tizol an eye patch, and inside, as he's giving it to them, we notice that inside Tizol's eye there's a deep orange glow, which is a bit strange. Revan mentions it to Tizol, and Tizol doesn't really have any idea why it's there, but he thinks he looks super cool with the eye patch. Felix thinks he can help with the missing eye problem in the future, which is neat. Council still wants to find some alchemite to stick in his eye socket. See what happens. Tizol says it doesn't hurt. We decide that from now on, going one word a day for the journal is probably the best way to go. Just for safety.
Yeah.
That's
Don't want to
disappointing.
overdo it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
The group discusses the plan. The plan is to continue heading south to the forest near the coast, and then we'll wrap around the mountains and head north back to Oren. Council wakes up and checks his face after resting. Nothing has changed, interestingly. However, he feels like crap. The group discusses Council's memories and the meaning of the journal and plans to move forward. Council rests again. Tizol's wounds from Council, after being stabbed and basically clawed at, he's burned the flesh and is scarring around it. Wander's wound is also singed and the bark is missing. Barnabas is on his phone like a dingle.
Is that what?
Yeah,
That's true.
it's the next line. It's getting cooler as the climate changes and we move farther south, going from desert to temperate.
How dare you bring up climate change in my campaign?
The air is not as hot.
There you go.
Did you mention your mask doesn't fit as well? Council's mask doesn't fit the way it
Oh
was
no, I
fitted?
didn't. Yeah, Council's
Yeah.
mask doesn't adhere to his face anymore.
Yeah. So whereas like before it was held on by the attunement, and he has the straps like kind of keeping it there in place. Now it's basically like just on the straps.
Interesting. Revan offers to banish Council. Oh yeah, Revan asks Council about the experience when he was banished.
Oh, yeah.
Council says it was
I forgot about
fantastic, and he absolutely loved every minute of it. Revan offers to banish Council again, but Council declines to avoid becoming addicted to the feeling. 5 hours into the day, around noon, we reach the southern edge of the mountains. Because the southern edge is sloping toward the sea, we can see the sun glinting off the ocean. It's very nice. We can't smell the ocean, however we are traveling through rain, which is a very good feeling after spending weeks in the sun. Wanda spreads out like a happy houseplant and absorbs the water. Felix... Email from work? Go away. Felix notices the burns on Wanda. Council remembers Tizol and Wanda using some fiery-like abilities during the fight. The group discusses Tizol and Wanda making a pact with the Force near the Obsidian Mountain. Lots of RP, yay RP. We hope nothing harmful comes from it. And we move on.
So this is actually just verifying. We think the pact may be with Noon, but none of us actually knows.
Yeah, we kind of hypothesize that that might be the case. Yeah. We now come to the forest. We have to skirt very closely to the mountains because of the tree line. We move around the edge of the mountain slowly. We make perception checks, and Felix notices from quite a distance that at one point he can see the trees are moving. Something large is making its way through the trees toward us. It's getting closer to the path. Revan uses full speed ahead to try and get ahead.
Yeah, he does.
We reach a point where the thing in the trees and the ship cross paths. We run over a walking birch tree. Revan loses hold of the wheel and tumbles forward toward the ground, and the ship heads toward the trees. We correct the ship and stop. Revan falls off. We get off the ship to inspect the tree. We see what looks like a large birch tree lying on the ground. Wanda uses Cure Wounds on it. Wanda talks to it in Torn. It rolls over and looks up with multiple eyes through dark knots on the bark. Kinda creepy. He's also 20 feet tall, him big boy. It feels well. The birch doesn't know languages or races or anything really. It's been in this forest its whole life. He's just heading around. He hasn't just awakened. He's been awake for some time. 10 summers, he says. Wanda tries to help him find a name. We start with Sprinting Birch. We just decide to stay for an hour to chat with the tree as kind of to compensate for hitting him with our car, and then leave.
Sorry for running you over. Do you want to sit on the curb and like chat while you're recuperating?
We just hope he doesn't call the cops.
I don't have insurance, so
We don't need any cops. We're cool.
Yeah,
we're cool.
You good?
We just got this boat.
You want some gum?
Is it Trident? It's not Trident then.
Yeah.
Calling the police.
The orbits.
Mentos. Birch wanted to see what else is out there in the world. Wanda and Birch talk about different words and definitions. Council wants to know if we can talk to the oldest tree. However, Birch says we only live for 100 years. They only live for 100 years. Not worth pursuing for history. Wanda asks if Birch wants to come with us. Birch says, "Will I be diseased like you?" Which Wanda didn't share with the group.
Okay. Yeah, you can deal with that.
One of the animals.
Birch
Yeah,
asks.
because Brooke's in the room.
Birch asks
Good
where
call.
Wanda came from.
Oh, I thought maybe she'd drop something too.
I thought it was Brittany.
No, because Brittany's over at my house.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Adam.
We can wait for it.
Adam snuck in. He's just sitting upstairs knocking crap around at
I didn't want to be alone.
That'd be amazing.
I'm so sad.
He's gonna hear all of this.
Yeah, that's fine. Hi, Adam. Hope you're feeling better. We love you.
Yeah, that word, the L one.
In like a distant kind of way.
It's a remote love.
Yeah. Like no hugging.
It's
but
definitely
like,
a 2020.
like an up nod kind of love. You know?
Yeah, like a thumbs up.
Like a-
reaction.
A socially distanced love.
Okay.
The house on fire? Yep.
That's the sound
Fire
of fire?
goes up though, so we're okay.
Yeah, we're good down here.
People never think that.
You said that
Fire
with
don't
such
die.
confidence. One of my brain's like,
Fire also doesn't go through walls.
Yeah.
so yeah, I wanted to ask Birch if he wants to come with us, and Birch says, "Will I be diseased like you?"
Mm-hmm.
And all of us out of character go, "What?" But no. Birch asks where Wanda came from and how we got there. We decided the name Lost Birch because Wandering Birch was not acceptable by Wanda.
It was already taken.
We decided to take him part way, and we can take him on the ship, and then we can take him close to Orin and get off, and he can continue his walk north. Wanda wants to get knowledge to younger generations, which is why he's wandering the world to learn things. Council suggests teaching him important common words, so he doesn't get himself into trouble. We shouldn't let him into the city because of the collars. We ask if he knows how to fight. He gon' squish it. We travel. Birch lies down because of drag. We teach him words. We continue.
Because of drag.
That's right.
Accurate.
We round the mountains and reach the edge of the forest. There are smaller white mounds appear in the distance near the mountains, and we can hear echoing across the forest the sound of chopping trees. Wanda tells Birch about wood being used for various things, and Birch is visibly upset. Wanda explains the cycle of life with wood and survival. Whatever the mounds are, they're big enough to fit a couple of people inside. Tizol flies ahead. He counts around 8 people. There are 3 white domes. Turns out to be tents. People chopping trees, hauling some over. It's Carrie from the ship, the large deaf man, and other crew members from the Nightingale. We haven't seen them since they left to get wood for the Nightingale 3. Tizol tries to convince them to pause chopping for a bit as the ship passes. Captain Riker agrees, and they all cover the tools because they're awesome. Someone asks Tizol about his eye. Tizol just says it was a battle. We stop the ship, meet the crew, give them a tour. People chat. Felix tells Revan he should tell Riker about the father we met in the desert. Old Tim isn't present. Robin Rogers, Stan Rogers' father. We establish the bloodline of Horan, Roger, Robin, and Stan. Council gets new clothes from Ronnie Drew, which is super nice. He doesn't have to be naked anymore.
He chooses.
We tell Riker about the compass, and it broke him. Other items, we tell him about the hammer and all sorts of goblins of the city, the heart of the world. We basically just build the whole campaign for this guy. Riker wants the necklace
We recap
back.
the whole campaign.
Riker wants the whole necklace back for more alchemite. We confirm that for the first time in the campaign, we checked the gun Revan has, and it has a tiny D on it. On the inside
To be
of the
fair,
hammer.
I think that you did check it when it wasn't in its other, when it was in the
the decorative.
the other form, yeah, the
Right,
decorative form. Yeah.
We definitely checked it.
It was very well hidden too. It was on like the hammer.
It's
Yeah.
on the inside of the hammer, yeah. Council decides to pay back the crew for the clothes and basically helping them and all that kind of stuff, and he uses his Eln powers to make them a rudder. They've been here for about 5 days. They saw the behemoth on the way down, had a close call. We offer the ship if we can once we get back to Orin. It takes us 2.5 days to get back to Orin. We discuss a plan to let Birch go. We help Jurgen and then go under Orin. We brief Birch on pretty much every dangerous thing that exists outside of Orin and let him go. And that's where we stop. Ooh, 114 lines.
114 lines.
114 lines.
Okay.
Medium session.
Medium session.
I think the record's like 187.
For
Shortest
one of my sessions?
Yeah. For notes at least. Shortest one is like 12. That's combat thing.
Okay, good. Go back. Nope, not that far back.
If that gets it.
No, it's fine.
All right. So, hold on. I'm trying to get a bunch of different music going and stuff. Ugh, ignore this ad. Mute.
I am ignoring it.
I have fruit snacks if anyone wants them.
I already ate some.
You did?
I snuck it.
All right.
They were recommended to me.
The title for session 33 is Dawn Rain.
R-A-I-N or R-E?
R-A-I-N.
R-E-I-G-N?
Yeah.
DAWN?
Yeah, DAWN.
Okay.
DAWN space RAIN.
So not DON.
Yeah, not Dawn's reign. The reign of Dawn.
Yeah.
Donning the rain.
Yes.
Session 33.
Yeah, this is session 33.
THIR.
Yeah, THIRTY space THREE colon space capital D AWN space capital RAIN.
Thank you, English.
Here I was just trying to be clever because 33 is the number of halfback Ron Dane. Anyway,
We playing at Jack's house?
Where am I?
I quit. This has been fun. Everybody, have a good night. The party travels northward for the better part of 3 days in relative calm to get to Orin. You arrive in Orin late at night on the 10th day of the 11th month of the year. You left Orin 30 days ago. Just over 4 weeks. 3 weeks of travel into the desert, 1 week of travel out of the desert. You've had 2 fights with Council. You have encountered a giant worm. You have gained an artifact. You've discovered that you potentially have another one. You have also lost an artifact in the form of the compass, becoming de-attuned from Revan. You also gained a ship. You fought 4 stone giants, or at least escaped from 4 stone giants. You have met 1 runaway immortal in the form of Wally.
Oh yeah.
And you have met 1 floral Tornin sent in northward. In the dark evening hours, it's difficult to make out any detail beneath the large green dome as you arrive in Ornan, the subtle glow covering the Dwarn district of the city. It's in this cover of darkness that the party parts ways with the lost tree, leaving him alone again to head northward, and leaving you alone with Jurgen, Sledge, and your ship outside of Orin. What would you like to do?
So we just arrived in Orin.
Oh my gosh, that's so loud. Yes. You just arrived in Orin. It is late in the evening.
We're outside the main wall.
Yes.
We need to get help for Jurgen.
Yep.
Sledge, are you comfortable guarding the ship while we handle Jurgen's health?
Yes.
Very well. Council sort of guides Jurgen and kind of walks him toward the city.
As you go to take Jurgen off of the ship, he mildly protests and says, "It's late at night. I don't think anyone's going to be able to care for me at this hour. Leave me with Sledge. He knows me best. He
Very well.
knows my ailments. Come back for me tomorrow.
Very well.
If I'm not
Maybe.
dead now, I shouldn't be dead then."
Would we have taken note or do we know about like any hospitals or infirmaries set up in the city?
You remember in the Dwarn Temple, there are healers there, essentially. That is where Revan was taken after he was killed. And that's where Old Tim still is. That's where any of the sick are taken to, as like acting kind of as an infirmary, basically. Like the pews are used as like cots to lay people on, whatever.
Would it be better to bring him to the temple we found Revan in?
I believe that would be the ideal location.
Don't think there's a time when that closes. I think that
We can
the sick are always there.
We can go check and probably retrieve.
Has Jurgen been to Orin before? Jurgen, have you been here before?
Can't say I have.
We do have the collar issue to think about.
Ah.
I believe council had said the Archmagister owes us a favor that we would cash in.
let's let Jurgen and Sledge stay here and rest. We can go in and get food and rest as well. In the morning, we can speak with the Magister about the situation and potentially clear anything up.
Yeah.
And then help Jurgen out.
And just to let you know, Jurgen, when people first come to Orin, they need to put a collar around their neck, indicating that they owe the city a debt. It was briefly uncomfortable for us, and then we needed to do something for the city, and now we're able to come and go freely. But anyone new coming here needs to perform a service for the city, so that's why we're trying to arrange things.
Is this normal amongst the Hume? At which point Revan is just like, no, we would never dream of doing this on the pillars. I'm doing my best, Revan.
Revan, you sound much
Yar!
Revan, you sound much cooler tonight.
Why, thank ye. It be the gun.
Yar har fiddly dee.
A pirate's life for me. No, Jurgen, we would never dream of such a thing. Well, if I must, in order to receive life-saving care, so be it.
We will do our best to make sure that doesn't happen. Knowing that you are reluctant but accepting about it helps.
On that side, by the way, the music.
That's okay.
That's fine. Well, does anyone remember the name of the inn that we stayed at?
The wolf and the hound.
That's the inn we're staying at. If for whatever reason you need to come into town and find us.
You should be able to follow the smell.
What does that mean?
I dumped toilet wine outside of the inn.
'Tis all marked as territory.
Yes.
Understandable.
It's something akin to urine.
A wise tactic.
Basically. Does he seem fine? Like, before we leave him for the night?
Make me a medicine check.
He's been stable for like the 3 weeks we've been traveling with him.
Yeah.
I mean, get it out the way, I guess. Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Tizzle's like wearing scrubs.
24.
So looking at Jurgen and kind of analyzing the shape that he's been in, you know that he has been okay for the trip because basically every moment that Sledge isn't at the helm, which because Revan has been captaining the ship for most of the time, has been a lot. He has been down actively caring for Jurgen. You know that Jurgen's disease that he had in his leg, it has spread. And he's definitely feeling worse. You can tell, like, the last couple of days he's been coughing a lot more. He's not doing well. It's hard to say exactly, like, I mean, if he's gonna, like, die tonight or if he, die a week from now or whatever. But left to his own devices, you don't think that he would last very long.
Share that with the group.
First thing in the morning.
Does it feel safe to wait until morning? I mean, he's survived for several days, obviously. But Sledge, do you have any instinct on whether or not Jurgen should get medical help now or later?
I am not a medical professional.
Let's see if the temple is available. And perhaps keep them in the temple for the evening if available. If not, first thing in the morning.
Agreed.
That's wise.
We can deal with the collars in the morning as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Heading inside.
All right. And what are you doing with the ship? You just parking it directly outside the doors? You hiding it in some way?
Parking lot we can leave it?
No.
I was thinking like double parked perpendicular to all the other floating ships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You find the appropriate parking lot.
Parking in
Back it
between
in.
2 meters that we're not going to put any money into?
Yeah. You actually double parked in 2 other floating
We'll bring it
metallic boats.
because the city's a semicircle, so we'll make it along the wall and just kind of basically hug the wall south of the city. That's kind of my idea.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to go where now?
Is Sledge coming with us?
No, he's on the
So
ship.
this is the entrance you normally use right here.
Yeah. So we'll go south a fair bit, just so people can't see it when they leave the city, unless they
Okay.
specifically
So
walk
like
down this way.
here, like where my cursor is, or even more south.
I'd say more. Like a good 10-minute walk.
Still on the populated
Yeah.
segment.
Like
but-
there.
Okay, like there. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. So you leave it there. Then you have considerable walk to get to the entryway. Which walking along the outside of Orin, looking in, again, you just see that kind of the green dome over the Dwarven section. You can't really tell out any detail, but you don't see any like shapes along the top of the wall. You don't see any like town guard or anything like patrolling this area. So you're pretty sure that nobody's gonna like discover your ship. It should be fairly well hidden there.
Cool.
Is it out of the ordinary that we don't see people patrolling?
With the circumference of the city that they have to cover and the population of the city, it's not super unheard of.
Probably not
Figure-
practical, especially
yeah.
with
The
the
barrier.
dome.
Yeah.
Right,
They
yeah,
may-
late
they
at
may
night
have,
and everything. Right.
Relaxed guard a bit.
Right. As you
Complacency.
right. As you do approach the outside of the city, though, you do see, whereas before there was the big two doors, and then there were the sigils on either side that were kind of like glowing and blazoned. They are, there's no color in them at this time. At least at this time of night. You don't know if that's something normal for the nighttime or if that's something new. But you do hear from the top of the wall, there's a kind of this brutish looking guard up there who just shouts down and goes, "Who goes there?"
I am counsel. This is Wanda, Tizol, Revan, and Felix. Yeah.
Well, you got a word for a name.
It's a title.
What about Wanda?
That's his name. We are familiar with the Magister and Orin.
You can see like spits like this big wad of tobacco like, off the side of the wall. It just sticks on the inside of the green shield.
We are familiar with Orin and the Magister. May we please enter for the night?
What's your business? Why are you out so late?
We just arrived
From where?
across the desert.
What?
The large patch of sand over the mountains.
On the other side of the mountains.
Correct.
If you know the Magister, what's his name?
I don't have my notes.
Screwed.
Ricardo.
Not Albus, is it?
Well, you know, that's close to his first name. It's Alabaster is his first name.
Alabaster.
Yeah.
Alabaster Corin.
Alabaster Corin.
Alright, give me a minute. You see him leave the edge of the wall. It takes like a good 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds. And then suddenly you see the sigils on the outside brighten up and the doors kind of push through the sand and open up. And on the inside, you see him just standing there with like his hand on the button, like he's holding open like the handicap button in like a mall or something.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, he's just like got his hand on it. As soon as you're all through, he lets his hand off and the doors then close.
Oh,
As we pass by, I tell him, you can thank us for the barrier.
Alright,
Glances at the
thanks. I guess.
just gonna like poop, like right. Council just gonna sit.
Tizzle nods approvingly.
He hasn't put any of his clothes on yet.
He just turns and kind of goes
That's really
back
why the
through
guard gave us
the...
so much crap.
Full tripod.
He climbs his way back up to the top. Just doesn't care.
All right, straight to the temple.
Okay. You guys walk through the large open area that has been previously, or well, is still largely filled with the kind of like scattered armor and weaponry from the past. When you get to the inner wall, you do see that the sigils are there. There's no guards on top of the towers, and it's just open if you guys wanted to walk in. Upon making your way through the inner walls, you can see the academy where the High Magister lives. You can see his tower kind of fixed on top of it. You notice.
Council enjoys the sight of Orin again after seeing nothing but sand for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is definitely a welcome sight.
Tizal enjoys it half as much because he has one eye.
Why do you only have one eye?
Things happened in the desert.
You notice as you make your way to town,
Do you need more room?
up in the Magister's tower, you can see that there is one light on, still in his room. It's very faint, like candlelight almost. Other than that, you can see the normal, like, kind of blue lanterns that are along the way. You make your way through town, and immediately you notice, yeah, it's late in the evening, but there's not a lot of foot traffic. Even less than there was before. It feels like there's a lot less people out than there normally would have been, especially in the evening. Whereas, like, most of the cultures here on Catel have evolved to be more nocturnal. Except in like the safety of cities and stuff like that, where they're more free to live normal life cycles. It's strangely sparse. And looking around, you can see that there's actually a couple doors that have been erected over some of the openings. So whereas before, each of the Dwarn buildings that these people were living in were basically just like the clay adobe kind of buildings where it's just like, yep, there's a hole that's cut for a door that's roughly the size of a person. There's like a window that's kind of cut. There might be 2 floors to it. Most of them are 1. Some of them have kind of these crudely crafted doors, which you don't even have to like inspect it or get close to it to see. They've all been made from like salvaged wood. You can see like some of them are like crates or like old barrels and stuff like that, just because there's like markings and things on them.
Cool.
But any of them that have doors, you can see have like these intricately carved and like crafted metal locks on them that are affixed to the other side, obviously in some way to lock the doors. Windows still wide open.
Council makes a mental note that Jones Forge is working.
And then you make your way to the temple. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Getting to the temple, you see, similarly, whereas it had large wooden doors before, now those wooden doors also have locks on them. And you can see that the doors are firmly closed.
Did this become a bad neighborhood overnight? Or are there any cars on cinder blocks or anything?
It's hard to tell. Roll me perception.
All the cars have clubs in them all of a sudden.
The healer lady at the temple's got a baseball bat.
Yep.
I knock on the door.
Like just like a kind of knock, or like a pounding kind of knock.
A knock equivalent to the size of the door that would be in the smaller door. So it's
Okay.
Like,
Okay. Standing outside, you don't hear anything, any kind of commotion. About 10 seconds go by before you kind of hear this, like, on the other side of the door. And this old lady kind of peers her head around the side. You can see she's got like a kind of a veil on, nurse's garb, basically just like some kind of like loose tunic. You see it's got different like bile and other kind of human stuff on it. Peers her head around the corner, just says, "Hello?
Good evening, madam.
Good evening."
We have a sick dwarf that requires aid. Is the temple open at this time?
One of them Dorn from the mountain?
Yes.
What kind of sick?
He has an infection on his leg from a wound.
Is it black?
Is it black?
Make me a medicine check.
To know what color it is?
Yeah, why?
Would I have noticed from the message?
You probably would have noticed, yeah.
You looked at it. Is it black?
It is slightly like gangrene-esque. Yeah.
Council just points to Tizzle.
Yeah.
We believe it is spreading, even though we immediately treated it on site.
How long ago was the treatment provided?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Is he with you?
We weren't sure if the temple was open, so no.
Fetch him. We'll make room.
Thank you.
She then closes the big door.
All right. I am going to go speak with the Magister.
I can go fetch Jurgen and Sledge.
Sledge should guard the ship.
I can go fetch your. I'm sure I can carry him or help him walk a few feet.
Very well.
I'll go with you to the Magister.
Do you want to escort Hondo?
Yes.
All right. Head to Magister Tower, Felix. Guess these two are going to the ship.
Okay. So because of the distances in the city, this is taking you some amount of time, like half hour or more to get to the temple. It takes you another half hour to get back out to the edge of town. So it's getting later and later in the evening. When you arrive at the Magister's temple, or the Magister's tower, however, you do notice that there is still that kind of slight flicker of candlelight up in the tower. The rest of you, Wander and Tizzle, who are going out, Revan would probably go with you guys to go see the Magister.
Sure.
He goes with you. You two are going out. You find the same guard who's there. He lets you out. He recognizes you, obviously. Doesn't give you any trouble on the way out.
As we're heading out, Wander clarifies that we're bringing back someone else.
He just kind of looks at both of you and says, "Any trouble?"
No, well, he's a bit ill, and we were checking at the temple to see if they had room for him there, and the old woman was kind enough to say that they did. So
Likely story. Got a sick friend. Bring it in.
Make you sick.
what else would a sick friend be?
He just holds open the button and just stares at you guys, and you can see he's got a helmet on, and loose fitted. It's clearly not made for him, but you can see it's like slightly cocked off to one side. He just stares at you through the eye holes.
Can't hear you for the door opening.
Sorry, no.
Tizzle would lean over to Wander and say, not really even realizing that he's not saying it as loud as he is, but go, he seems a little slow.
He just doesn't say anything. Just keeps leaning on the button.
Go with the button.
It's like, oh, it looks like you're not going anywhere then. Just holds the button open. You guys leave to go get Jurgen.
Okay.
You guys who go up to the tower, you make your way through the courtyard. Obviously, no one's here at this hour. Find your way to the stairwell that goes up, kind of up into the tower. Felix.
What are we asking the Magister about?
I'm going to ask him if Jurgen requires a collar or not.
Right.
And perhaps we should inform him that we are going to be entering the underside of his city. Well, the city that he currently looks over. In case it explodes.
I think I'll also tell him to maybe come up with a way for guards to recognize who's a citizen or not.
Convenient. Some sort of insignia, perhaps?
Rather not get trouble again.
A mask?
A brand, always a brand.
Because it's like, look, I'm special.
When you get up to the top of the stairwell, you can see that the door is actually slightly ajar into his chambers.
Council makes slightly more noise than normal walking up the stairs.
Okay.
Just putting a little more weight. Just kind of...
Sure. getting to the top and seeing the door open, you can see that the Magister is inside, just through the kind of the crack of the door. And he's just kind of like holding a glass of something, and he's just staring out one of the windows out over Orin, not the direction of the bubble, but out like over the rest of the city. And he's just kind of standing there at the window.
Magister Karen, we have returned from our journey.
Push open the door and make your way in. At which point, and kind of like jostles this goblet or whatever he's holding. He knocks first. Oh, okay. He just turns around very nonchalantly and kind of makes his way over towards the door. He can't tell exactly who it is on the other side because the stairwell that you came up through is almost entirely dark. There's no light sources in there. There's just a little bit of light, which you can see actually is just a kind of a small, like half burned down candle that's like sitting on the table that he has used multiple times with you guys before. And as he makes his way past that, he kind of leans down and grabs that with the other hand. Just grabs it like by the little handle. And he's got the goblet of something in one hand and a little candle in the other, and makes his way over to the door. And then when he's finally close enough to see, he first sees this kind of glint off of your mask. He says, "Oh my heavens!" And he like kind of shuffles faster over that way. You can see like very awkwardly like grabs the door with his elbow because his hands are full.
He helps.
Okay. He says, "Oh, please do come in. I'm sorry. I was just enjoying some wine."
Of course.
And he shuffles his way back to the table and sets both of his items down.
Nice to see you relaxing.
Thank you. And as soon as he has them down, he gives first you kind of like this awkward drunken hug. And then as soon as he's done hugging you, he does the same to Felix.
Is he hammered or is he just kind of sloshed?
He's just, I don't know which one's worse.
Tipsy? Just kind of partially hot?
Yeah, he's just a little looser than normal.
Okay.
And then he does the same to
at
Revan.
the line.
Yeah, yeah. You can tell that he's not his normal self right now. Upon finishing giving the rounds of hugs, he steps back and just says, "My word, you left nearly a month ago, right?"
Correct. It has been a journey.
Well, sit down. And he like kind of, you see these like chairs get pulled forward out of the darkness, like up behind you guys.
Magic chairs.
And he kind of summons one up behind himself, and he says, "Please take a seat. Let's talk it out. What have you been up to? Where have you been? You were going to the desert, right?"
Correct. Does he know about the compass? We told him about the compass, right? Because he looked at it.
Yeah, he helped us
He helped
get
us
it working.
get it
Yeah,
working,
he helped you with the compass.
Through our investigations of the city and the business of your brother, we learned
yes.
about the heart of the world and some machinations of the gods that we weren't sure of. And the only way that we knew how to get into the underside of the city was with this golden hammer. We found it under the mountains. It was possessed by someone else. They left across the desert. We followed them with the compass. We have that.
Right.
Felix pulls it out.
And we have returned.
All right. So, you're going to be going to the heart of the world then?
Correct. We will be opening one of the doors in the temple, preferably not part of this district, in case something else happens.
Right.
And then we will go under the city. There was some other business. My apologies.
Mm-hmm.
The previous owner of the hammer gladly gave it to us. However, he was wounded in the journey and he's suffering from an infection.
Oh no. That's
May we...
This
get...
was a friend of the owner.
Correct. My mistake.
But
details are important.
We ask that we send him to the temple for aid. If that is all right.
If he's injured, I'm sure that would be fine.
We also ask that he does not get a collar.
Oh, no one receives a color anymore.
Oh, much has changed in the last month.
Don't you remember? You gave me that manifesto of sorts, changes.
Correct, but
We implemented most of them.
surprised you must have.
The last time you were over, I told you I'm no longer in charge of the city. I handed over the day-to-day dealings to the dockmaster.
Still,
I'm simply a wizard in his tower.
So our friend Jurgen is his name. Is free to come and care of
Yes,
us?
right. Any and all that arrive are free to come and go as they see fit, which is good because we would have run out of the necklaces a long time ago.
We also have
we found a strange vehicle. It's a ship that travels over the land.
You what?
We found it.
And he takes off of his glasses, and kind
Imagine
of cleans them on his robe.
it's a
This
ship.
doesn't affect my hearing at all, but say it again.
Imagine a ship made of metal that
I can imagine such a thing.
draws power from the sun and alchemite to float slightly
Oh.
above the ground. We're not entirely sure how. It's part of probably an empire thousands of years old.
I could probably figure it out with enough time.
Felix-
Looks it up and down your suit and says, I bet you could.
Felix is mostly the reason why it's working again.
Hey,
We have left it outside of the city along the wall as to not cause a disturbance.
oh, right, okay, right. Yeah, I suppose if you brought that into town and caused a commotion of sorts, people wouldn't like it very much.
Would you like to see it tomorrow?
Could I see it tonight?
I'm sure you can, yes. If you're not tired.
I'm plenty tired and
Well,
a little more tipsy than that, but
What time
I'd still
is
be
it?
interested.
Isn't it like midnight?
Yeah, it's approaching midnight, yeah.
Perhaps the morning when you are fresh of mind might be more ideal, so you can remember the experience.
I think there's
You
some
might be on
things
something.
we would like to know what has changed here. Anything notable? It seems a bit different.
Would you like me to tell you in the morning or tell you now? If I'm going to be seeing you tomorrow morning anyway.
That's fair.
Perhaps the morning.
I
It is late.
am curious. Have any other Dwarven entered the city?
Oh, loads.
Oh.
Loads of them.
Peak Dorn?
I don't know what flavour of Dorn you are. All kinds.
The chasm Dorn that I am, the paler or darker skinned. The Peak Dorn have skin tones similar to human.
I think we've had a fair mix of both.
You've been keeping in touch with Joan.
Hey?
How's she doing?
Oh, Joan's flourishing. She's taken over 2 other buildings near her.
We noticed
Expanded her shop quite a bit. Once Dorn started showing up, they offered to help.
We noticed the locks on most entrances.
Right, nasty bit that. So, when you folk arrived in the city, it was maybe a ship every week, maybe more. Now it's about a ship every other day or so. And with that ship, sometimes brings in undesirables of a sort. And with the docks being relocated due to the bubble, this part of town doesn't see as much foot traffic anymore.
I see.
Now, if you're interested where the docks are, they're actually over in the southern district, on the other side of the southern wall, and he kind of like points off to the south.
Is it more people staying over there?
Hi, there's a fair deal that have come in that have never even journeyed up this far into the northern part of town. They've just stayed there.
Perhaps the temple we should enter is this one, if it's less populated.
Yes, we did park a boat
Oh.
on near the southern side, thinking no one was there.
However, the
Oh.
entrance to the southern region is equidistant from this one, so we should be alright.
From where you parked your boat?
About a 10-minute walk south from
Right
the
down
gate.
More than that, but
15.
sure.
So you
X
knew the
minute walk.
answer.
You do!
I'm not saying that I have eyes everywhere, but I'm thinking
It's
it.
more on the divider between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
regions.
Yeah. So if you remember that, like, in this part, this is a couple miles long, like this strip.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm pointing on my own screen. From here to here is a couple miles.
Right.
This is about a mile. Just
Okay,
The outer
okay.
section.
Okay.
So this is a 12-minute walk or so.
Yeah.
Sure. So that was a half hour, 45-minute walk.
Yeah.
What kind of miles you guys walked? It's like 20 minutes.
I mean, this is a journeying mile.
Right.
This is an expedited.
You guys are like,
You get a power walk.
Right. I mean, that's basically what the rules of 5e are built on. When like you're traveling, it's meant like you are traveling. You're not moseying. If you're strolling, yeah, this will take you
I gotta go
an
to the
hour.
store.
Just Lord of the Rings running.
Exactly. Everywhere.
we have a lot more to share, but the crucial details have been exchanged, and we are very tired from the journey. We also haven't
Right.
eaten anything but berries for the last month.
Oh,
So
right.
we will rest and recover, and we'll be back in the morning.
I'm certain that Molly will be excited to see y'all. Well, if you're to head that way, you're not there. I can't have to stop looking at them. If you're to journey down to the Wolf and Hound, Molly will be excited. See a familiar face.
Good, it's still there.
I've forgotten she'd existed.
That
I just had the thought that-
certainly crush her.
Do the good berries just grow off of Wander, and have we been picking them?
He just kind of
Why not?
He's actually just wearing a diaper, and in the morning he picks them out.
Count's like, I haven't had a good BM in a month.
They're actually just pure fiber.
It's just like rabbit pellets all over the ship.
Yep.
Turn them into
They're like a
bad
broom.
Yeah, these are bad berries real quick.
Use them as bearings for repairs.
Council's plan is to go to the tavern and just inhale some sort of salty food. Give me a steak, please.
Yeah, I think the Wolf and Hound is our next stop.
We should go to the temple to make sure we don't lose Wanda and Tizzle.
Oh, meet them there, yeah.
Magister, thank you for your time. We'll be back in the morning.
All right. I will be up whenever I'm up.
Of
I'm not
course.
as in high need anymore, so I can wake up whenever I want.
A comfortable life.
Yeah, normally Danny's actually the one who wakes me up. He comes knocking on the door, little rapscallion.
That's the little, yeah.
Very well.
Whatever.
Rest well.
Thank you. He kind of then everyone stands up and he like pushes the chairs back to the edges of the room, walks you guys to the
like
door,
freaking magic.
and walks you to the door, and lets you out. And then he closes it.
Thanks for seeing us.
You guys who wander out to the ship, you find the ship.
And
Find
Tizzle.
Yeah, and Tizzle. You wander in Tizzle your way out to the ship. You find Sledge. You find Jurgen there. When you're within sight, Sledge calls out and says, "What news?"
The temple will accept Jurgen this evening.
There'll be
Right.
no collars required. They don't do that.
You're not there.
Oh,
There.
shoot.
You guys hear a door explode in the distance.
Someone with their collar.
We will take him. You will guard the ship this evening, and we will come get you in the morning. Yes.
Am I to go into the city?
Now, no.
Am I to go in ever?
I don't see why not. But
Do you
Felix.
see me?
do you see him?
You certainly don't have to, but they've seen weirder things.
I shall ponder this.
Fair enough. You can have it either way.
Felix and Council are dealing with the matter of the colors. We believe we will be able to have you come in without having to serve the city the way we did, but they will have more information.
That would be best.
Jürgen,
He kind of like hobbles towards the edge of the ship. You can see he's at like the front, and he's just a mess. And he can't see you because he's blind. So he just kind of like holds out a hand, like waiting for anyone to like take it and lead
he
him along.
fly,
Just
don't
stay
fly
just
up
out
there
of
and grab him
distance.
and, like,
Yeah.
guide him down.
Okay. You take him back into the city. It's much slower walking with him back, just because he's hobbling. But eventually you do make it back. Probably better part of an hour passes before you make it back into the city. And again, like another 20-ish minutes before you make it back to the temple. So you guys, if you're going to the temple, you're sitting there for a while. Which, sitting in the middle of essentially like the market during the daytime, or the market as you remember it during the daytime, at night, it is kind of eerie. Looking southward towards the other district. Let me pull this up again. I think you guys have it on your map. But here's the temple with the bell tower and everything. And this road heading south towards the southern district, the Elm district, this you can see has more people on it, because that's where any and all foot traffic into this section or district of the city would come from. And so you can see that there are people that are south of you that are out and about doing things, but where you are, it is basically empty. You can see that there's just kind of the blue lanterns every couple houses that are lighting up the way. But yeah, there's not a whole lot that you see until Wander Tizal and Jürgen arrive.
Cool.
Anything you'd like to do in that time, or just wait?
No, just gonna chat.
Okay. Just shoot the breeze in the evening until it's time to come. All right. You guys.
Are there any like guards or patrols?
Make me a reception check.
There's hiding.
Very, very sneaky.
Oh boy, 8.
8. Every once in a while, you'll notice that there are guards that come by, but it's not very frequent. Hard to ascertain as to why. Just every once in a while you'll see a couple, but it's very infrequent. Over the hour and a half between the time that you guys got here and the last time you saw your traveling companions, you see maybe 4 guards in that whole time.
Okay.
Every once in a while, off kind of in the rows and rows of houses, you'll hear some kind of sound. Hear some amount of talking, whatever, but none of it is discernible or anything, and it's rows and rows away. Nothing right up next to you guys. Right. But again, pretty infrequent. Most of what you hear is nothing. It's very, very quiet where you are. And then you guys show up, and suddenly it's loud.
Squawk.
I knew it. You go to the temple door, knocking, I assume. Same lady is there. She takes Jürgen in. Immediately upon seeing him, it's just, oh dear, he's much worse off than you imagine. Kind of takes his arm around herself and puts her hand around his waist and helps him into the temple. Says you can come visit him anytime.
Is there anything you need that we can offer in exchange for your aid?
We're always in need of bandages.
There you go.
If you have any.
Keep that in mind. Thank you.
No, you don't have any. All right.
Well,
Get some.
do I have some? Like,
Probably not. I don't know, unless your pack says that you have some.
Council was naked for the last month. So
Yeah, right, yeah.
I have some oil.
Temple needs
For
bandages.
wounds.
I had some possessions stripped away in Pollux I didn't get back.
Oh, yeah.
My rights as a citizen.
So she takes Sledge inside, and they close the door. So you guys are free to make your way towards the Wolf and Hound.
Go on the wolf and hound.
Yep.
Tizzle saying under his breath, "Go to go drink, good to get the drink. Be the month, be a drink."
I fill in the people who weren't with us, just of the short conversation.
Oh,
we
yeah.
had.
Oh, they had it with the Magister. Okay.
Collars and stuff like
Just
that.
that.
And the locks.
Some more riffraff in town, and
You sure about the guards and the patrol that you're noticing too?
yeah, just that it's not very populated. That's why, because the riffraff people are staying inside, I'm assuming, or they moved all to the south as well, and not very many
So
guards.
here's what we do. We collect the heads of the unwanted.
Take the CT back. Each one's ours.
You can turn the Wolf and Hound into your own, like, barracks. Like, just taking people's heads and sticking them on spikes outside. Like, this is a warning.
Okay. Yeah.
As we're walking and you guys are recounting everything, Tizzle's still singing the song under his breath, and he's holding the flask out upside down, just emptying it on the way to the tavern because it's full of water.
This trail of water being emptied out behind you guys. When you get down to that last block here, where you make the turn to go to the Wolf and Hound, you can see down to where the docks used to be, where there was kind of always a big like hustle and bustle. Looking down to the end of that next block, however, you can see that there's the street lights that are on, but there is no hustle and bustle down there. And as far as you can tell, there's nothing down there. There's no ship stock. There's nothing. It's just the ocean, essentially, is what it leads to, except for the big wall that had been constructed.
Right.
You're saying where the docks used to be?
Yes, where the docks used to be.
Free real estate. Just set up there.
You live there.
They can't stop you.
You live like kings.
You turn southward to go to the Wolf and Hound, which upon arriving is everything you remember it to be.
Yay.
Inside is basically empty, though. You don't see any other visitors or patrons. You do notice Stefan is behind the bar still, and you see that Molly is there as well, and she is very excited to see all of you. And you notice that she no longer has a collar on either.
Cool.
Danny, she explains, and her daughter, whose name I can't remember at the moment.
Danielle.
Sure, Danielle. They're both asleep. And so she invites you all in and asks if you need anything.
Whatever meal you have available, and some drinks, please.
Right away. And she kind of scurries off and tells Stefan, explains, which then he disappears behind one of the doors to go make things. And then she comes back and sits down at the table with you. Says, where have you been?
Council tells her all the exciting bits. The temple with the stone giants, the talking alligator, the floating ship, all sorts of fun.
The worm, the biggest
Oh yeah, the
you've ever
sandworm,
seen.
yeah.
All of that in the last month.
It was a harrowing journey.
It was quite busy.
I stepped on a thumbtack once.
Must have been fairly painful.
Yeah, it was an awful day.
Things have changed here quite a bit too. Maybe not in here, but
That is true. Well, things have changed in here as well. We don't nearly have as many customers as we once did. She kind of gestures to the empty tavern area around you. Says the last time that anyone stayed here was about a week ago.
Is that mostly just due to the docks moving further south?
Yeah, when the main import to your city for traffic is through the docks, and then the docks go away. There's no reason to really come up this far north.
Are you planning to move at all?
No, I've grown to like it quite a bit here. Danny is still taking classes from Magister Corin, so I don't see much of a reason to move. I get paid. I get to stay here and eat the same as I did before.
Where does the food come from?
It comes from wherever they can get it, mostly fishing ships that'll go out to sea.
There's still no form of currency, or is it mostly exchange at this point?
As more people have arrived from the pillars, some of them have started trading in coin. But for the most part, no. It's still most favors in service.
Understandable.
Do you know why there are more people coming now?
Of course, we can only speculate, but assume Miss Margaret has lost her mind. Even more than it was. Some of the newest say that now she's begun not only kicking out those who won't report to her, but also those who won't surrender their belongings to her. They won't surrender their property, won't surrender their ships.
I wonder if this is affecting other leaders as well.
What other leaders?
The human leaders. The different regions.
There are none.
Were they all assassinated?
Miss Margaret's crowned herself Queen of the Sea.
Ah.
You know, I imagine the population here will grow,
It already has.
and this place will probably be once again populated again.
Sometime, perhaps.
So you just wait out and you have customers.
If there's no customers, I get to sit down, so...
That's
Really,
a good
you
point.
guys are kind of an inconvenience.
We've been told that before, yes.
It'll certainly not be the first time.
Oh, speaking of that, she kind of gets up and goes back behind the bar again and goes... She comes out with plates of food. You see it's just like a tuna sandwich, basically. And she brings out some things of ale for everybody and sets them all down. Again, sits down, back down to chat.
Other Dwarven have shown up too, right?
Aye, there's been a few Dorn that have come through.
From the mountains.
Right, aye. There's been a fair amount of noise that has come from the mountains.
What do you mean
At
by
least,
that?
Magister Corin says, or tells Danny, so Danny talks about her in the day. He said they've heard some kind of explosions or something.
The breakers might be getting more aggressive.
No doubt.
The who?
There's another.
Trouble-causing dwarf faction. Like a gang.
Is there any way that we can tell them apart from other dwarves? We can keep them out of the city.
Physically?
A lot of time, they've been employing imitation suits of armor like mine.
Not as nice as the one you see before you.
Chinese knockoffs. They're terrible.
Yeah. Made in Taiwan.
Get them from wish.com.
They look like this, but running off of the red alchemite.
So there's no way that we can tell them apart aside from it on the off chance that they come knocking in a suit of armor.
Correct.
Alright. Well, at least I'm on the far side of the city, so I don't have to worry too much.
I doubt they have any business here. Most of their qualms come from.
They don't. Well, my people don't usually leave from under their holes.
Do you know what they're searching for? Or what their goal is?
Do I have a good idea? Besides just
Um,
more power.
Weren't they just resentful of the laws and stuff?
Yes, it was partially that. From what you recall, it was just a lot of like power grabbing.
But they've also been talking with the cultists or whatever.
Yeah, they were talking to the citizens of New Orin. They
Oh,
were talking
frick,
to
yeah.
James. Yeah. They seem to have something of an amicable relationship with them. You don't know if that still remains, but
Have you heard of anything from the north, the New Orin?
she kind of froze her brow, thinks, squints a little bit. Not that I know of.
That's probably for the best.
Imagine
No.
if they've been in trouble, they'll probably have the help of the breakers. That will likely be the point at which they become our problem.
I feel as though maybe not now, but soon we pay another visit to Orin.
I agree.
New on?
What is happening to us, they may be able to answer.
First things first, we have to deal with the hammer.
And I'm glad I'm not in charge. Just a simple tavern maiden.
It is a burden.
Do I believe her? Insight check. She's a big bad.
Go ahead and make me one if you like.
D&D, I gotta roll dice.
17.
She's the biggest of bads.
Oh no. Kill
She's
her.
gonna kill everybody.
Kill her. And peck her. Peck
She's
her in the
actually
ass.
already poisoned all of you.
Is she pretty though? Like, is it worth it?
Yeah, it's worth it.
Okay. Council's like,
She's a fair tavern maiden.
step on me.
She's not ugly. She can't be bad.
Right.
Anytime fitness says otherwise,
No, she's in her. Anyway,
thank you for the
no,
food.
she's not the big bad, and she seems genuine in not being in charge of Orin either.
I wouldn't want to be in charge either.
Seems like an awful lot of expectations and weight on your shoulders.
Distractions.
So did you guys share with us that the changes came from the
Yeah, we
recommendations you
pretty
made?
much. Felix
Oh,
kinda,
not the ones that council made. No,
Okay. So we don't know that. We just know that changes happen.
council doesn't take credit for things. I try.
Felix
not to
tells
have
you
ego.
that it was. That's what the magister said.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I will mention to Molly. How long have you had your collar off for?
Oh, probably better part of 3 weeks.
That must have been quite the relief.
It was nice to be able to wash my neck again. You wouldn't believe the dirt and grime that had built up under it.
I can imagine.
Whole different skin color under there. Had to work at it for the better part of an hour.
Wonder what they did. with
Council
all
looks at
those
his tuna
collars.
sandwich and then back to her.
So who now is, not to say in charge, but who is making the decisions in lieu of the Archmagister?
Felix told you that too. The Dark Master.
the small council they established, right? It's the Dark Master, the
Yeah, so
yeah,
the Dock Master is now the one who's in charge, Master Crowley.
yeah.
But then there's still that small council of James Verneth, the town guard head. There's the High Magister and himself, the Dock Master, who essentially make all the decisions. Although Master Crowley has the last say and everything.
Yeah.
Essentially, the High Magister just kind of shifted the responsibility off of himself onto somebody else that was already on the council.
But he's part of the council.
Yes. Yeah.
Not exactly what council had in mind, but delegate.
Yeah. Imperfect plans. Or imperfect executions.
It happened.
Because now we've invested a bunch of time and energy into someone who's barely ruling the city.
Right.
Butter someone else.
My leverage. Council stands up with his plate of food and drink. I'm going to go savor my first solid meal in a month, and then get some rest in a bed. Thank you for the conversation.
Right.
Maybe we skip a night on our study. He winks.
Very well.
Tizal blinks and it looks like he's winking because he has one eye.
This is like,
Not in town.
I mean, council's almost offended if he could be.
That hasn't stopped you before.
Molly says goodnight to you all and kind of makes her way back behind the tavern and get her back behind the bar. You're free.
Do you see that too?
What is it?
Spider!
Are you serious?
I forget how you handle spiders.
I don't like them.
Spider
Okay, that's a good thing.
I
Roll for
really don't
initiative.
like them. If I roll for initiative, that
That
thing's
was a
dying.
spider? I thought it was a fly.
Oh, it was a fly as well.
It's a spider.
Where did it come from?
The ceiling.
Just like repelled from the ceiling.
Oh!
I did the total like spider thing of like.
I think
Yeah,
you
it was
hit
Tom
when
Cruise
you
in-
did this when you were talking.
Yeah.
You moved your hand back, and I think you clipped the web and it fell on you. You
No, it was on the
attacked
chair.
yourself.
It was on the chair.
I'm glad I didn't notice, or you would have just seen me poop myself on camera. Great.
I
It
put
would have been great.
Yep.
It would have been great.
I put spiders in strategic locations in my house to deal with the flies. That sometimes get in.
I put spiders in strategic locations in his house
To deal with the flies?
to deal with the pillowcase.
You know, wake up your children like a no giant
To
web.
deal with the pillowcase. That pesky pillowcase. I'll teach it by filling it with spiders. That would. Yeah.
Are you looking for
Wouldn't
him?
have a good time.
What? Did you find
Are you
it?
looking for him?
In here.
I mean, he's not gonna go anywhere anytime soon.
He's still alive, though, and I
Yeah,
can't
I don't
live
want
with
to
him
put
being
our-
alive.
Put our DM in distress.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll just talk to that corner. If I see anything move, I'll jump in.
We can see the wall from here.
Anyway,
Yeah. So you are free to head
Felix
off to bed.
does a bit of work in his room before he goes to bed.
As someone who has gone 60 days without eating solid food, I empathize with Council. He's going to enjoy the hell out of his sandwich. Oh.
Are you bringing that up to your room, or are you?
Yeah,
staying
he's still
here?
got the habit of eating.
I haven't had drink in 30 days. I'm hanging out with you.
So yeah, Molly welcomes you up at the bar to sit and drink as much as you'd like.
Fills his flask first.
Just at the barrel.
Do you need any company while you tie one on?
If you would like to stay.
All right.
How do you drink? Do you?
No.
He puts his roots in it.
Spills it on the ground. And
Really?
Steps on it.
He's just got a glass with his fingers in it.
Oh, that's the good stuff. What year is this? This is great. Yeah. Do you guys want to chat with her at all, or you just?
Yeah, just in passing. There's nothing specifically I'd want to
Okay.
ask about, but Tizal's getting.
Sure.
What do you know about noon?
Nothing. She does explain that, just kind of in the chit chat of the evening while you guys are up with her, that it's really just her and Stefan now that are running the place. Stefan's brother David moved to be part of the town guard because the town guard is spread so thin. Essentially, they're covering twice as much area with the same amount of people. And so they've been trying to like actively recruit people to join the town guard as they can. So David left especially once traffic died down, to go and join the town guard. So now it's just Stefan and
Council wants to join.
Does it feel more less safe now with more people in the town guard stretched further across the town? We saw the locks on the way in.
Right. It certainly feels different. We didn't have to worry about break-ins. Didn't have to worry about murder. Didn't have to worry about any of the nasty things that come with civilization before. Because at least as much as the bad the colors did, they did ensure that everyone stayed in line. And certainly not having the town guard spread out, and just kind of an evolution of bad consequences of good things that have happened. So to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know if it feels...
Acceptable answer.
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I feel alright. Especially going out during the day, I'm not afraid of anything, but once night rolls around, more people stay inside. Certainly in this northern area.
If you have troubles, we are. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Has it been a relief to not have to worry about attacks from the fish folk?
Yes, that's been quite nice, actually. With the barrier there, we don't worry about them at all. Now, however, the troubles are who within the city is a fish folk in disguise, sort of deal. Like who's the bad amongst us?
Indeed.
It's all right though. That's all in a day's life. Nothing else really in particular to chit chat about. Just talking about goings on in the city.
And Wander gets tuckered out and goes up to bed.
You can go to sleep. Leave me with you.
Everybody else wakes up in the morning. Tizal's still downstairs drinking. And what you have noticed in the evening... Oh my gosh, really? Go away.
What does Felix work on?
Oh, sure.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Anything.
Oh.
Point of clarification. You mentioned in the recap that Tizal put on the eye patch, and I had mentioned later that same session that he
did
actually
not
likes
put on the iPad.
not wearing the eye patch.
Oh, okay.
So his eye is fully exposed.
Cool.
So if that changes any interactions or any questions, now we're back in town.
I mean, it probably at the same interactions as wearing the eye patch would. She asks you about it. Anything that you say to her, she just believes. She doesn't have any reason to think that you'd lie to her.
10 worms.
10 big worms, one bigger than the next.
Thousands of arms with swords.
Those Russian dogs of war.
One worm inside of
What's
another
a
worm inside
Russian?
of another worm inside of
One New Orleans, or 10 New Orleans.
When you wake up in the morning, everyone who's not Tizal, who actually went to sleep, you can hear that there is a formidable rain outside. And despite the dome, the rain actually does come through. So the city is getting wet from the rain. Every once in a while you hear like a bit of thunder or something, but overall it's just kind of a nice fall rain. And when you make your way downstairs, you find probably Tizal slumped over at some point.
Just on the table.
Yeah. Molly's down there. She is looking very bleary-eyed, but there.
Did he keep you up the entire night drinking?
No, I went to sleep probably, I don't know, an hour after you left. I just have to get up early because Danny has to get off to go see the High Magister, and just in case anyone walks in, they have to see a smiling face.
Fair enough.
I figured if they walked in the middle of the night and they saw a sleeping bird on a table, then he'd scare them off.
Yeah, he's terrifying looking. No doubt about that.
We should put a flower at his eye socket. Take off the edge of his appearance. Little daisy.
You guys are free to do whatever you'd like to do.
I'm going to go see Joan before we go to the temple.
I'll take along for that.
Is Tizal awake?
Can we do
Eventually, he would probably wake up. Yeah.
Oh, it's I'm dead. Did I die?
Roll me a Constitution save.
Council flicks water on him.
That he would wake up in the commotion of everyone coming down and like talking. He would.
When
Was that refreshing?
Very much so, yes. Do you know, have you ever felt bad, but felt good about feeling bad?
No.
Right.
We are built differently, my friends.
Let me say that the past month I have had a hang under.
I think I understand what you mean.
Tizal, I have a proposal for you. I wonder if you're interested. And he puts on the table this ball that's like the shape of an eyeball, and it has the same sort of filigree design about it that his homunculus had.
Oh, cool.
And in like the
What's up, dude?
Hey, Owen. How's it going?
we'll get back to it.
Guys, have you seen the dice that Dad made?
I saw one of them.
Oh,
There's more than one.
I did.
There's
I
more
see
than one.
many of them.
I think I need to check it out if there's more than one.
There's a lot of things that he made.
Hi.
Oh.
Hi, how are you?
I love the little hoodie with the ears on it.
Yeah, it's the best.
hey buddy,
Oh, hugs.
Hugs?
I don't know why like children dressed to look like little animals is so adorable.
It's
Are you gonna
incredible.
get a
It's
hug
like,
too?
oh.
Hugs all
Oh,
around.
this day just got so much better.
D&D
Oh,
with
man.
D&D with toddler hugs. This is the best. You got
Alright.
There you go.
How are you, Jamie?
This is
Hi,
how big
buddy.
they are.
Oh man.
Hi.
boxes.
Hey, ooh, watch
They're
out.
like dice.
And your dad made them?
There we go.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The
We need
brown
the bolts.
ones are like boxes.
Yeah, they are.
Here, you
Oh.
can
Have a good
you
night.
can have only the ones that look like boxes.
Cool. Thank you. I feel
You can have them. He's giving them
And
to
the
you.
dice too.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You can
Luca
have
now
all
owns
the-
those.
You're supposed to eat them, right? They're food?
No,
No?
They're not
they're
food?
from the cricket.
Or the 3D printer. Mom has the cricket.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like
But
a sport. He's cultured now.
Wrong culture, child.
Wrong cricket.
Wrong cricket.
The third cricket is next.
Thank you for showing me the boxes and sharing them with me. They're very cool.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting. Back to our regular
No
schedule.
worries.
Okay.
I got a toddler hug out of it. It was very happy.
Good night, Owen.
That was pretty
Bye,
great.
bud.
Bye. You want a hug?
Yeah, I'll take a hug. You want to check out the crates?
Like, I know he was asking you, but I was like,
I mean, I'll take one if you want.
Oh.
Sure. Not opposed to hugging children.
That's very benevolent. Would you like a hug?
I have spare.
From the top of the stairs, looking down on me.
It's a bit of an effort, but I can expend it if you really need me to.
Father, receive your affection.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I went to Kraus for that one.
The best posh child.
I desire applesauce. For the light of Sigmar.
Oh, no. Kraus. Okay. Filigree.
Eyeball filigree.
The pupil is glowing green.
Oh.
Like the scorpion was, the homunculus.
Do I eat it?
Puts a no. I understand if you don't want to use it, but you can keep this as you put it in your eye socket. It'll go in there on its own. And right now you might not be able to see out of it, but maybe we'll work on that if you're open to it. But it is a useful thing to have. It does the same thing. It is what used to be the scorpion.
You reforged it.
Yes.
You killed the scorpion?
What?
You killed the scorpion for me?
It didn't die. It is the scorpion.
Oh,
You have a scorpion in your head.
And
How's that for a
that's
story?
going to add to the story, yes.
I can cast certain spells through it. It attacks on its own. You saw everything the scorpion could do.
You could have lightning coming from your eyes, Tizzle.
Not even in my turn in combat either. Nope.
And if
Punch
it
that,
needs,
punch that.
You just have to get into the right location and boink.
Wait, does that mean you could heal him?
any touch spell. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the scorpion's just riding on his shoulder, basically.
How creepy would that be? Like, Tizzle's like, and he passes out and he's just like, and it's like, oh my god, stab.
Why won't he stay down?
I'm picturing the eyeball as like the one forcing the movement. So I stand back up and it's like this. Thank you, Felix. DC's most helpful.
I've had my eye missing for 2 months. Can I have one
Has his
too?
eye been missing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he's been wearing a mask, so you haven't been able to tell.
I didn't know that. That's fine.
If only there was someone else missing an eye that could have also used this.
I can't split the homunculus.
It's a good thing he
into
doesn't have an
two.
ego. I mean, that would suck.
On the
He
back,
might feel
there's
unappreciated.
there's the pupil on one side, and on the other side, there's a little Dwarn F on it.
It begins.
Maker's mark.
When not in combat, Tizzle has the F pointing out. When in combat, he has the pupil pointing out.
It just
Flips it around.
It's like when he's frustrated, like, what's wrong? F.
What does that shape mean? I don't know.
Felix. He takes it, puts it in his eye.
You just hold it up, and it kind of just takes off a little bit and finds its way to your eye socket.
He goes, ah!
Rightfully so.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, you'd only have sight of it until like there, and then it would just disappear. You're like, oh, did it go to the right of it? Like, did it go to the other side? Where is it?
It's like
Yeah, the eyes.
Wait, does it look around? Wait,
There's some little kinks we need to work out.
Oh god, do I have a debuff on persuasion checks now? If I'm like looking in two different directions trying to convince someone to do something.
advantage on intimidation.
Yeah. He's got the stink eye.
Do you really want to upset me?
The Oculus grows.
Make it turn into a scorpion and then crawl out of his head. Everyone's like,
Oh my gosh. There's some good, terrifying things that can come out of this relationship.
Felix has got like his little remote control thing. This is great.
Could you imagine being interrogated by a bird and his eyeball just turns into a scorpion and crawls up the
Crawls out of-
staring at
Guys
you?
is like, done.
You can have whatever.
I'm
you
just a
want.
minion. You got I'll do the rest that you want.
Anything.
Here's the boss's cell phone number, address. Here's his schedule. What do you want from me?
He's at Hy-Vee right now.
Right.
Need a finger, I'll just start taking this one.
Yeah.
Got an extra candy.
Thank you. DC's most appreciated.
Any time to solve a problem with machinery is a pleasure.
Was that my eye that made that noise, or was that something else?
That's the update complete sound.
Yeah.
Your firm
Yeah, your firmware's been updated. Yeah.
I actually just made the eyeball 12.
Lowercase
Suddenly
I,
gets-
capital
gets out of
B. all-
focus.
Is there a mute button on the remote? Like volume? Serious roleplay.
Oh god.
Unnecessary.
Now I want to go get in a fight.
Now we can go to Jones, I suppose.
I won't fight you.
That would be ideal.
Yes.
Everybody going to Jones together?
Yeah.
Splitting up? And
Taking
all?
this crate with me.
I'm curious if
You're coming with? You're not going to sleep at all?
I slept on the bottom.
Fleshies.
Counts like we are not the same. I don't take offense to many things, but
I don't know, Revan kind of chimes up and says, I'm interested to go and see the Magister again.
why?
I have things I'd like to talk to him about. Specifically the compass, see if he can fix it.
Oh, right.
he does know about magic quite a bit.
He does. So, if we're going to Jones, let's not take too long.
I want to see how she's doing and if there's any opportunities for having my equipment back. Well, getting new equipment is better.
Right.
I am curious if Kaz has taken my advice. You remember him, my assistant, my ex-assistant.
He may be there. Hopefully he left. Especially with all the issue with the breakers potentially going on.
I have some more questions for him.
Perhaps he has some raw alchemite. Right. Onwards.
As we're walking, I'm not trying to keep it a secret, but I lower my voice and talk to Tizzle and say, do you think perhaps we should talk to the Magister about our shared condition?
Covenant of betrayal? Yeah, absolutely. I also think that's a great idea.
No, it's definitely not going to have endgame impacting consequences. It's just a meaningless decision.
Felix hears everything through the eyeball.
That's myself.
You have been bugged. You've allowed yourself.
Second campaign in a row.
You just got
Somebody
like
stuck
gifted.
something into my face, and now they can hear me forever.
That's
Well, yeah, why is that your thing?
What happened in the previous one?
With the gem, yeah.
Alfion was listening to the
Yeah,
show.
I never forgot about that.
jeez.
Oh, that was great.
It's because you're so like tinfoil hatty in real life that we're just like, we know how we're gonna stick it to him. That's how.
Look over his shoulder forever in a fantasy game too.
Yeah. He's not nearly paranoid.
You
enough.
don't get to relax, boy.
You thought this was gonna be fun?
That's what don't see it.
The wall is clear, desk is clear.
Yeah. I'm fine. All right. So you guys make your way through town over to Jones. So you start here at the Wolf and Hound, going up to Jones. You make your way through the center of town, around the Dorn Temple again. And when you do, you actually see Captain Verneth is there.
Oh.
And upon seeing you, he kind of waves you down and begins to hobble his way over. And you can see that he actually has a crutch that he is using to get around right now.
Oh yeah, he lost his leg at the non-fight, right?
He was pretty injured from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll walk up to him.
Yeah, he makes his way over and says, What? Wow. This is sad to see.
something good to see you again.
Thank you very much. Where'd you go?
Quite a few places. We went over, under the mountains,
Under the mountain.
across the desert.
Why, there's mountain and the desert on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
On the
Right.
other side of that
Right.
desert is more mountains.
Mm-hmm. Even bigger,
Alright.
I'd wager. Maybe not bigger, but more
Even
intimidating.
bigger.
Massive.
Right. All right. What else?
Then we came back through the desert and actually ended up going south around the mountains and back here.
And you did all that in a month.
Did indeed.
How have you been?
He kind of gestures down to his leg. Just, been better. Had a nasty encounter you there for. Got this little stump now, and he kind of like waves his leg, and you can see he's got almost like a hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon, like metallic foot like stuck on the bottom of it, just kind of like jammed up into his leg. So got that now. Thrown together by old Tim. He has the most experience in town of cobbling parts together to keep things together. And his new helper of sorts, some new dawn came out of the mountains, helping him out. Goes by Casimir, I think. Something along those lines.
This might be a good day, Felix.
They're at the temple, you said?
Right, yeah, that's right. Timmy's and his new apprentice seemed mighty eager to put his talents to use, kind of holding people together. Yours truly being patient number one, if I don't brag too much.
Is it a gun in that leg?
Felix takes a second glance at the leg.
Anything you look in particular, or just
And like,
it's pretty janky.
pretty janky.
Yeah, you could similar to like the hiccup leg from like How to Train Your Dragon, was like little like metallic pieces, like the spring like gives a little bit of give. It's basically the same thing but without the spring. It's just like kind of a
shock
bent,
absorption.
just a bent metallic piece of something.
A metal chicken leg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not fancy in any way.
Do you want to go? Oh, we're going to the temple anyway.
We're going to Jones.
Well, Jones, Magister, then temple. For the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you know anyone who would be interested? Sorry to butt in. Do you know anyone who would be interested in being a sheriff or being part of the town guard? That is kind of the thing we're in need of at the moment.
Do we know?
Did you meet anyone on your journey? Bring anyone back with you?
We did.
Yes. One is in the temple, one is outside the walls.
We could talk to Sledge about it.
We're unsure what their plans are, but
Sledge would be a right neat name. For a
He's
town guard.
Sheriff Sledge.
he's exotic.
I like the sound of it.
Not the same as Wanda, but
Not like a tree.
no.
You'll
Think,
s- You might meet him.
we'll see. He's a bit shy.
All right.
Otherwise, no one else, unfortunately.
All right.
Ollie had said that there is a shortage of guards.
There is, right. I do what I can around the temple during the day, and we're looking for kind of two heads of the guard, one for the northern district and one for the southern district. If we can find that, then we'll be cooking with gas, as they say.
I don't know what that is.
What?
I don't know what that is.
Probably not.
Could ask the Magister's brother.
If they want that. What?
It's like, I'm like, we could ask the Magister's brother. I'm sure James would be interested.
Don't think we want him back. Probably not. He's fully aware of the relationship with James, as he was one of the people who was responsible for kicking James out.
If we find someone, we will direct them here. I assume they are taking care of food and shelter, the
Alright.
basics.
Are you going to be in town long?
We don't know.
What are your plans?
We're going to go try and resupply, replenish our equipment, and then look into something that is.
We're gonna explore more of the town. More of the unexplored parts of town.
Like out in the ocean?
Sure.
Sort of.
We're not sure yet.
Are you being intentionally vague about
We're
this?
gonna. We don't know where it goes.
Going under the city.
We have a place in mind, but we're not sure where it goes.
Alright. Keep your secrets to yourself. Just don't cause any trouble.
If it does start to look spotty, we will contact you.
I'll have some of my guys help you out.
Thank
you
you.
need it.
A quick question. Getting into the city was not the easiest thing. Is there a way for us to show people that are familiar to the city.
Some identification, maybe.
Oh no. Not that I know of.
That's fair. Not expecting anything fancy. Just top of the head,
No.
thought we'd ask.
Thinking about. No, because there's no real like unifying insignia or anything for the pillars where most of us have come from. No, sorry.
No worries.
Nothing
Might
comes
tell
to
the
mind.
Magister to bring it up to the council.
Potentially.
All right.
Even a password.
Crystal says it's really quiet, by the way.
Oh, sorry, Crystal.
Maybe a
If we
password
want to turn it up.
better than the Magister's name.
Is there a way to turn it up there, or is it?
No, I think you have to do it from the board.
I can go push some
Yeah, just,
thingies.
Do the
just-
buttons.
Beep boop beep bop.
Crystal, I loved your bikini bread. Thank you so much.
It's real yummy. What are you doing?
Don't eat your mic.
Were you just breathing heavily into the mic?
I held my breath the whole time. I had respect for the viewers.
Disco noises.
All like one of my viewers, being my wife.
You know, more than zero matters.
Yeah, it's true. One is good. I'm okay with that.
Matt Gates.
I was thinking the same thing.
He did a Twitch stream, and he had 12 viewers.
Who's Matt Gates?
The senator.
Conservative senator from Florida.
Oh,
He's being investigated for sex trafficking and whatnot.
as you do.
Yep, as senators do. So yeah, he thought, hey, Twitch will be a way to reach out to the young voters.
Oh no.
They did like a big, I think they did a big campaign before it and everything. And yep, 12 viewers.
He's just really in touch with.
I mean. Oh, Crystal says you're welcome.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Did you say zucchini bread?
Bikini.
Bikini
It's like
bread.
banana bread.
It's banana and zucchini.
Okay, cool. I heard bikini, but my brain refused to believe that that's what I heard. Because I was like, bikini.
No, you're only allowed to
He
eat.
said the wrong thing.
You're only allowed to eat it while wearing a bikini. I
Yeah.
have a special one just for the bread.
Do you?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the material made out of? Is it bread?
No, it's latex.
It's made out of Lay's
Latex?
potato chips.
Yeah, latex paint. You put it on.
And I'm going to replay.
Picturing a
I
rubber,
keep getting weird
a
with
rubber
this.
glove bikini on you.
Oh.
Like floppy finger shoulders.
All right, Alex, this is what it looked like from the outside. Crystal, I love your bikini. My brain just goes, what is happening? What? Who?
That's what I was like,
Where?
that's
What?
the wrong
I
thing.
don't. Bread. I'm like, less confused.
Still confused.
Went from severe confused to moderate confused.
Spencer just drop kicked me more across the table.
I wouldn't fault anyone for nothing. Never mind. My wife is attractive and I love her. That's all.
Good answer.
There you go.
She's beautiful in every way. Anyway, yeah, so bikini bread is a happy accident of banana and zucchini.
Don't you use bikini as like part of the binding? I don't know. Because there's a reason why you put bananas in banana bread. Baking. I don't know baking.
So
Crystal
you
probably has more.
you can make zucchini bread, you can make bikini or banana bread.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I think my mom was making zucchini bread and she didn't have enough zucchini. And so, but she had some bananas, and so she just used, like basically replaced a cup of zucchini with a cup of bananas.
You can use mashed banana or applesauce as a replacement for egg as a binder. Like if you're like doing
That's what I was.
To hold your Pokemon cards in.
correct.
Yeah.
Pokemon cards and mashed bananas.
A binder. Jack got it.
Got it.
Uh-huh. Right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
You fill each slot in the binder with mashed bananas, and then you put the Pokemon card in front of it, and then you tap it.
Can
And
you
then
Also-
it's there
imagine
forever.
going to a game store and showing that to the guy at the counter? He's like, "What are these covered in?" Banana. It's a preservative. I give my Pokemon potassium.
Okay.
Gotta fortify those guys.
Did anyone else get this skit in Vacation Bible School or anywhere? There's some weird clown character trying to entertain the kids, and they're like, okay, so we're going to do a magic trick. So you got to listen to me carefully. And both the goofy guy and the straight guy face away, and the straight guy's like, okay, you take your bandana. And then the other guy is like, picks up a banana. He's like, okay, you take the bandana, and you put it into your hand. You kind of close and make a fist, and the guy's like, okay. And then you squish the bandana through your hand with your finger, and then he's like pushing the bandana, and he's like, and then you pull it out the butt, and then there's this goofball over on the other side that's like jamming a banana, and like the banana's coming out of the peel, and then he jams enough of it, and then he like pulls the rest of the peel, and banana. And it's about listening to directions. And just me?
Yeah.
Crystal said she's heard it before.
Yes. Oh, thank
I have
goodness.
never heard
Thank
this.
you, Crystal.
Oh, also she said the screen is black, but we can keep going. Says the audio's fine, but
Oh.
you broke something. Don't know what.
I think maybe it just.
They did this at Boy Scout camp.
Break in the meantime.
Yeah, we can take a bathroom break. That sounds good.
Yeah,
I have to
that's
go to the
not a bad
bathroom.
idea.
Alright, everyone, come on, let's go.
Whee! What? Don't cross the street.
I get to sit in your lab.
What?
Oh yeah. Battery exhausted.
Oh, that. So she said battery exhausted, and I thought she was saying she was like very exhausted.
Oh.
And then she said the screen is black, but there's still sound. I'm like, oh, what?
It just blows my mind that you can communicate with your wife through your friggin' watch.
Well, she's texting my phone, and then it just shows up. On
Right.
Well, this is the future, buddy. Welcome, Zambocom. Yeah. Oh, your sad little flip phone.
What is OS? Is that Android?
It's this.
Or is it
whole-
Symbian?
It's an Android Lite kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
It's called Kai OS.
I think I've heard of that.
It's basically a rundown. I mean, it's got little.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
fine.
it's got icons.
I've
yeah.
got Google. I can watch YouTube videos on
Yeah.
my 3.2-inch screen.
I have been considering getting a flip phone again because my daughter has me watching K-dramas now,
Oh, okay.
and they all have the Samsung flip. It's just a matter of whether it flips this way or whether it flips
Oh
this
yeah,
way.
yeah. They've actually gone back to the more retro look, especially in Japan. They love the kinetic feel, like this is the ones that slide up. with the keyboard
Oh,
things.
yeah.
But it's all like newer phones, but they just went back to the retro style. It's very cool. This is $30. So if I drop it in the toilet, I'm just gonna flush it and buy another one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it in some rice or something.
Crystal says she wants one.
That's
She
great.
loves flip phones.
The only thing you cannot do is do anything app related. You can text, you can phone call, you can Google things,
Yeah.
YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff. But if it's like you have to install this app, nope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you can get to a web browser, so you can order Five Guys or whatever you want. And
Sure, you can try if you want.
I only have one charge.
Oh, no worries. I mean, we'll know next time. I wouldn't fuss about it. He's bombing it.
What?
They're all KaiOS
I'm not gonna make any
specific
weird jokes,
apps.
we're
Like I've got trivia.
Sure you're not.
They have an app store, but it's like
okay.
5 categories, and each category has like 12 apps, maybe.
So pretty similar to a BlackBerry at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. Like my Windows phone, actually.
Yeah.
Except my Windows phone had Slack on it. It's crazy.
Yeah, there were a handful of Windows apps flying around.
Did you see my bullet D6s?
That's okay. Okay.
You can take them out. Look at it.
Oh wow, these are hefty.
They're metal.
These are wow. That's slick. That's slick.
I'm gonna use them exclusively for sci-fi campaign.
And that's a Spidget Finner that came with it.
I bought this separately because it was recommended because I bought these, but it was like $10, and it's a revolver cylinder, but it's not actually. But you can actually reload it.
Oh. Oh,
It's
cool.
all brass. And, yeah,
Neat.
it's just very. When I'm role playing at home or watching someone else play something like on a stream, I'll just kind of sit there and reload my my thing.
I love
Very
it.
intimidating. It's like, so what do you guys do? Sliding bullets in.
start watching sci-fi like space shows to prepare for your sci-fi campaign? I have such little like knowledge of anything.
I think going into it
space
blind will be more fun.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking about doing Ashan again, Might and Magic, but like 10,000 years in the future. So like you guys will know the races, like the gods, like if they still exist, what happened to them. But it'll be like, okay, so you know the Dark Elves. Here's what they are 10,000 years from now.
Interesting.
Because I want to do something like Warhammer 40k, but that universe is so
Make sure to
dense.
take off your mic before you go out.
Yeah, I just remembered that.
Or don't. It's your choice.
Make bold choices.
No, I preached for a while. I know it can happen.
But yeah, 40k is very dense, and there's decades of lore. Like you could enjoy it without knowing it, but to really get the full grasp of like some things happening, you have to have the context. But you would have context with Ashan, so you could totally make work.
Well, I don't know much about the 40k universe, but like, I imagine it would be hard to do any sort of setting there, just because of the factions just absolutely hate each other, right?
Right, but there's factions within factions. Like there's different sects of the church. Like if there's different planets, and they all have their own governments. They all
That's
that
true.
kind of stuff. Like you could have
Maybe
a
like an
campaign.
independent sort of
Yeah, yeah.
setting.
Like, or you could be on the fringe of the empire. They have their own like rogue setups and things like that. Yeah, there are some parts of the Imperium that deal with the Eldar in non-hostile ways, which is kind of like a thing. But like, if I were to say, like, if some point in the campaign a space marine shows up, that would be a huge deal. Without context, that would, like me saying that or playing it up, you guys would be like, okay,
Oh, neat.
yeah.
Cool.
That's
Space cop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Space
Felix
marine.
just
Why
showed
is
up.
that cool? Like, you don't get it.
Why don't you get it?
These guys are basically demigods. But yeah, so it'll be cool. I'm enjoying this one, and I haven't thought about another campaigns much at all, really.
I'm thinking about my first I will want to run like an actual campaign in the setting. And have any of you seen Snowpiercer?
Yeah,
The movie?
yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, I've seen the show.
It
I
was
heard the
good.
show
The
was
show?
better.
The show's fantastic. I love that concept, and I'm thinking, how could that be adapted? That setting be adapted to something like 5e. And maybe 5e maybe isn't the right system. Maybe GURPS or whatever.
Which one?
Snowpiercer?
Oh, yeah.
If you're ever interested in an anime, there's one kind of like Snowpiercer called Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. It's a similar post-apocalyptic kind of thing. Very serious, like no like life, yeah. Very dark as well, but it's basically post-apocalyptic. But civilization lives in giant fortress cities, and the only way between them is by these huge armored like civilization trains. And it's a story of like these people, and the whole world's like just full of zombies that are basically impervious to everything. So these trains are just like cow plowing through to get from city to city, and it's the story of like what happens. It's pretty cool. It's very cool. It reminded me a lot of Snowpiercer.
That sounds really cool. Actually.
Send you a link.
Yeah, do it.
It's like 12 episodes. Stuff like that. That'd be a cool campaign because you could have it set on a train, and then you deal with the stuff on the train, and then like maybe you hop onto another one, or like something with the train happens, and yeah, it'd be.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, because it'll be the first campaign I actually run, and the first time I create a setting of any type, I don't want to overdo it, like try to go too big.
Right.
So I would definitely start small, but I can already conceive of ways it could expand and get crazier and more just explosion of lore and all kinds of other stuff.
Right.
But again,
Well,
I am not you with this. I don't know.
Well, not everyone can be.
well, with a thing like a closed set with a train, you'd have like who's in charge of the train, how does it run, where do they get their food, answer all the basic questions, and then it kind of likes itself.
A lot of that's already kind of written by Snowpiercer.
Right.
A lot of it would be stealing. It's really just figuring out what factions and what the geopolitics within the train would be, which wouldn't be the same.
Right.
I'm not gonna just rip it off entirely. But the setting itself is really, really cool to just let characters run wild in.
Everything's stealing. We always
yeah.
stand on the shoulders of giants.
Right. Yeah, if I did the futuristic Ashan thing, I would basically be taking everything I can from 40k and just kind of making it digestible.
Because if anything's truly original, it's incomprehensible. It's like what I'm actually picturing is single-cell organisms in.
Well, I mean, a lot of Tolkien stuff was a little derived, but like a lot of the really nitty-gritty lore details of like the Valar, the Malar, where the elves came from, and like what is the special sailing thing, and what is Gandalf, like all of that, totally crazy. And when they were making the first Lord of the Rings movie, some people turned it down because they thought it was incomprehensible nonsense. Well, like, this is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, elves and orcs and weird ghost wizards. And, yeah, that works out. People love that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pacing and scale. It's huge for stuff.
Yeah.
That's the problem with sci-fi. Well, a lot of like bad sci-fi is like it changes perspective all the time. So it's like you're on a ship. You're focused on the ship. It's like, oh, this whole planet's in danger. Like, oh, there's an empire, like back in the ship. And it's just like, like, what's important and what's not, and it's just tricky. That's why with this one it's cool because it's focused on us, but like we are looking. I feel like with this world, like we are looking around the world through a telescope. Like we can see really far the small things. Like we know the world is huge, but we can only see a little bit at a time. Like what's happening? It's cool. I like it.
Scale that's a good way to put it. I run into that at work a lot when I'm like, okay, we're talking about an 18-month time frame and things related to that, and someone's like, but what about this tiny little detail?
Rein it in.
But writing too, yeah.
Because I have a problem trying to get to like climactic situations very quickly, because I have cool moments I want to do in storytelling. But I'm like, okay, it's gonna be cool if they don't get there, like work for it. The beginning of the campaign, like you're in hell, you're in a prison cell. What do? It's like very small, and it expands. It's tough. Did you wash your hands?
What?
I smelled soap, and I'm like, what did you shower? No, bathroom, washed hands.
Sit back down the table after going to the bathroom. Did you wash your hands?
That's what my poop smell like.
Okay. What's your secret?
Japanese toilets.
They
I eat soap.
the bits of organ that they took out of him, they replaced just with Dawn's soap.
Yeah. They Ecolab did the operation.
They give you aftermarket digestion.
He's got like little refill packets. You just like it's like hand soap.
Instead of a colostomy bag, it's just like one of the inside of a soap dispenser. You just like unscrew it, screw on the next one.
Did a few pumps.
Yep. Gotta prime the organs. Hold on.
You have any lotion?
If you want the $10,000, you need to look into the camera and say, Ecolab, making life better.
If you want the 20,000, you say it in a hot tub.
You have a hot tub?
No.
Oh.
Not anymore.
Why does this keep coming up?
I don't explore people's houses like Luca does.
I was thinking about the inflatable hot tubs that people use on Twitch streams.
Oh, right.
Yeah, those creeps.
I've seen so many of those.
It triggers Jack every time I mention it because they did have a hot tub down there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That was Jeff, didn't you?
Yeah, some.
Not anymore.
Yeah, Joe, there we go. Scrolling through my notes, sorry. Anyway, you guys are done talking James? I'm so prepared. That's why I have to keep scrolling.
The shape of Aaron looks like the Resident Evil symbol. Are we gonna release Zambo?
This is not Umbrella Corp, I promise.
What just flashed on the screen?
You were all gonna
Nothing.
die
There
down
was a
here.
baby in the
Yeah, no,
All right.
You are not unleashing
Council.
the T-virus.
Get in front of that button. Thank you. Council's would totally be a guard here if we didn't have world-saving stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, he understands.
You would be a cop.
Heck yeah.
James Verneth, not James
Oliver?
Corin. not Oliver James, says farewell, and he says you chat for a little while longer, and eventually says goodbye to you guys. You can continue on your way to go see Joan. Are you gonna stop at the temple now? Go see Joan. Come back at the High Magister. We're going to Joan and then
Joan,
High Magister.
Magister,
Okay.
Temple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Let me pull back up my screen so I can see where I'm pointing over here. You walk past there, and you go out into the city streets, basically, to get out to Joan's shop. What you can see in the streets here is there are the occasional, again, like boarded up houses. They're far fewer here, but they are, every once in a while you'll see one. Just a lot of the houses here are abandoned or just not populated in the first place. You'll see that there are some that will have like, not like effects, chairs and tables and stuff that were left behind by people, but there will be like discarded, bits of food and stuff that's left behind in a house when people leave.
Savages.
Right. They just didn't clean up after themselves, and then they abandoned to go south. But eventually you make your way to Joan's shop. And what you find is, that she has basically expanded her operations to, she had the one house that she had taken over and was in the process of converting into a smithy. She has now, with the help of some Dwarn, basically taken over a second house next to her and kind of bridged the gap between the two. So now where there used to be like an alley between the houses, there is now just one big house that stretches across. Yeah, big structure. And out of the top of it, you can actually see that there are 2 stacks for the tops of forges. And you can hear there's hammering going on inside, and there's a lot of commotion. You can see that there's actually a number of Dwarn and hewn both that are coming and going and making their way around.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And you can see there's actually some Dwarn that are in the process of converting a third house behind into an additional bit of this building. So you see all that going on outside, and when you get up to the inside, you can hear inside that Joan is kind of like giving orders to people. She definitely has an operation going on here. It's no longer just Joan and her foundry by herself. It is a conglomeration of people that are now making things here.
Are they Chasm or Peak Dorn?
Mostly Chasm, actually. You don't see a whole lot of the Peaked One here. It seems to be mostly Chasm. When you were walking through the middle part of town, again, because there's some shops that are set up there still, there might have been like one Peaked Warren who was like selling pelts and things like that.
Right.
But that's probably it. Mostly Chasm here that are helping her.
I'm curious to see so many chasm Dawn here. There weren't any before. He's talking to Felix.
I'd be curious to have a word with some of them. Joan herself.
True.
I can wave at Joan.
Okay. She's like talking to. You can see like there's a group of like 4 or 5 guys that are standing around, and she's talking to them about like various tasks to do for the day. They just started getting to work. And she kind of catches you out of the corner of her eye, and she quickly wraps up that conversation. And then upon ending that, she kind of makes her way quickly over to you, pulls out like a handkerchief from her pocket, like kind of wipes off her hands and stuff, and stuffs it back in. And says, "It is so good to see you. Where have you been? I know you were going to desert, no?
Correct.
We're there, and now we're back.
There and back again. Oh,
Hey.
a Dwarren tale. That's all, folks.
You've been pretty busy in the last month.
Yes, we have. With the addition of more Dorn, with the addition of people arriving in ships to mine the ore, to make the things, business has expanded quite a lot. Yes.
How did you come about the Dwarf? Did they come here on their own?
They did.
Are any of them nearby?
Yeah, you can see that there's a handful of them they're still around
They know
working
who
on
you
things.
Are any council's gonna kind of eyeball some of the dwarves to see if they are looking at Felix?
Give me a perception check.
Reputation and such. My first roll. I'm so excited.
Can you just hide it?
17.
17.
To hide it or for perception?
To hide his excitement. I know you want to. Anyway, you catch a number of the Dwarn out of like the corner of their eye. They keep looking at Felix, but not necessarily like because they recognize him, but more because they recognize that like style of armor. And there is an uneasiness amongst them. That most of them keep going about their business. They see how Joan is interacting with him. See, he's not hostile right now. So they're still doing what they're doing, but they're keeping an eye on you.
Felix doesn't. He just thinks they're admiring.
Nice. Yes, so they have come out of the mountain, not of their own accord, but almost like you and coming across the sea, are refugees of something in your place, your kingdom. Is that the right word?
Did hear there's some unrest.
Yes, they say something about other Dwarn that they no longer get along with come in and cause problems and take over, and they escape, essentially.
Have you met a Dwarn by the name of Kaz, by chance?
Kez? And she kind of like looks out over the small sea of people who are doing work in and around her shop. She says, I do not think Kez's name I recognize. No.
Probably would have remembered him. He's a bit gifted.
In
Trained
good
by me.
way?
Yes.
Wait.
Trained by me.
Oh, that would be valuable to our operations here. Switching legs. But no, no Kaz that I know of.
Did we talk about working on anything when I left?
You...
Tube, by chance.
Yeah, you had mentioned it, I believe, before you left. I had not done it yet, as you see, I've been busy.
If I'm here for a bit of time, would you mind if I use these facilities?
As long as it does not get in the way, I don't see why not.
I won't get in the way.
No?
You might even learn something.
It is quite a tall order. I have learned many things. For instance, stay here. And she points at Council and says, you, come with me.
I follow Joan.
She takes you where there was when you walked in the front room, essentially, when you walked into the house, there was like a small sitting area. There was then some stairs that went up into a second story, and then there was like a kitchen that was kind of behind there. It was off of the counter, basically between the kitchen and the sitting area where you took the filings from her. She takes you upstairs. When you get up there, she pulls out some armor. And she says, this looks about your size. You try on, please.
I have nothing to offer in exchange.
I know, but you are clearly in danger of being harmed in the current fashion.
Correct. If you are sure.
I am not certain it will fit. It is a little big for me, but if it fits, yeah, I can tailor it more to your shape.
Gratitude. Thank you. He just takes it and finds somewhere private to put it on.
And what you see is it's just this like jet black, almost like obsidian looking armor. That she gives to you, which when you get it on, it's a little tight, a little snug for you.
Right.
You can tell it's clearly made for a smaller frame.
Yeah.
But still, being big for her, with a little working, it could probably be your size.
Okay. Yeah, he explains that to her.
Okay.
Is there anything we can do to help in exchange for this?
While you're talking to her, she's just kind of like going around you, like taking measurements and stuff.
Aside from
No, you've done enough. Just helping to how do you say solidify my place here, and help me to feel at home. Help me to work in amongst the people.
Well, thank you. I've been without my armor for so long, and I felt nude. It's part of my uniform where I come from. This will help. Thank you.
Certainly. Please take off. Go back to being note. I need to adjust.
Okay.
You take it off, and she kind of like piles it back up into the side of the room. And for being as like bulky as it was surprisingly light. Yeah, it felt good. She takes that and then brings you back downstairs, where you guys have just been kind of standing, watching everybody else going to work. Anything you want to do while that's happening, or just
Felix has been
wait?
giving himself a tour of the place.
Okay, cool. You see, kind of how she has it set up is there's the smaller forge that she had initially built, or that she was working on when you guys had left. Some Dorm had come in and quickly helped her like finish that off with their ability to shape earth and everything, and she made it into a smaller forge. It's not big at all. And then the one in the back is a much bigger, and you can see that there are a number of kind of stations around it where people are making things out of one forge, and this seems to be more like making armor and weaponry and like arrows and stuff like that. So there's like a kind of like a mass production forge, and then there's a more like personal, unique item sized forge that she has set up. And the majority of folks are around either the mass forge or outside and kind of helping to establish the third building as part of this setup.
How long has it been since we were at the Nightingale crew south of Oregon? Like 2 days?
It's been 3 days, even 3 days.
3 days?
Yep.
Okay. Consuls may want to use his fabrication again to help the forge.
Okay.
Something like so 4 days.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, she comes back downstairs with counsel, and says, "I'm sorry, I could not show what I've been working on yet. It does not fit, unfortunately. But come back tomorrow, and it will."
Very well.
I don't know why I wanted to show you that. What I've been doing to keep myself busy, right? Yeah. That, and you may have noticed there are locks on some of the
A lot of lots.
doors now. There is a miscreant of some kind about folks call or have nicknamed the Jackal. That seems to be causing problems in town. Several cases of breaking in and taking of what few possessions that people had. Thankfully, I have not been picked upon here. I assume because this area is always busy, and I clearly know my way around a hammer and
Are there
weaponry.
any clues or hints as to who or what they might be?
The only clue I have heard is the reports of the sound of jangling or jingling when they are around. Some kind of metallic clinking, clanking together. As almost a telltale sign that they are about before they strike. Fortunately, there has only been one murder, and that was of a gentleman who had arrived on a boat not too long ago, of no report.
You think the jackal murdered this person?
That is the belief, yes.
Do you know how they died?
Um,
Was it arrows?
no, how do you say blunt force trauma? His head was beaten in.
Not by fists.
No, certainly not. At least it would have to be one heck of a fist. The bone was destroyed.
And the down guard. Excuse me. And the down guard is where?
Yeah, this is like Dark Knight Tizal. Where are they?
We got the jackal.
Where are the drugs?
What did Shepherd's Pie have on him when he visited us? He didn't have any belongings, right? It was just a bow and
Yeah, not that you could see. The only thing that he had was a bow and arrow.
so not him.
And a bad attitude.
Right.
Definitely had one of those. We metagame knew that he probably had a magical item, but I don't know.
No, he was also a monk because he deflected arrow back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Council's
He's following us, not causing trouble here.
Does Captain Burnham know of this jackal?
Well, yes, yes. The whole town is aware of the jackal.
Interesting. How long have they been active?
It seems to be. How long ago did you leave? A month ago?
30 days.
Within that time, last couple of weeks. It has the obviously first event of breaking in and taking of things and roughing up resulted in much of the explosion in need for locks and doors, of which I keep myself primarily preoccupied. That was maybe 3 weeks ago.
Is there any pattern to how this jackal, or a big spray or attacks?
I am not certain, unfortunately.
Captain Burnham might know more.
Perhaps, maybe. I know they have been looking for additional help to do their town guarding. Perhaps this is why they are on the lookout.
I'm envisioning a trap, so to speak, that we could set if we can figure out what he is looking for.
What do you have in mind?
But if he's breaking into homes and stealing valuables, and there's been only one murder, presumably it is just someone trying to take belongings, and not necessarily a killer. If we could set up a home in the area to have valuables that this person might want, we might be able to catch them in the act.
I am not inclined to detective work, so I'm not sure if this is a good idea or not.
Thinking out loud.
Sounds good to me.
We'll think of something.
Mm.
Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If you need to use the facilities, feel free, just as long as you stay out of the way. I primarily do my work in the daytime.
That's fine.
John, when did you get a cat?
That is new.
Oh,
Arrived on ship yesterday only. I do yes, my work mostly in the day, so I can supervise and then I sleep at night. So if you are comfortable forging in the evening, the forge is open. Certainly, I will try to sleep through the sounds of whatever you are doing.
That's much appreciated.
Just gonna straight up climb
Oh,
the
yes,
wall.
There you go.
Do it. Yeah, fit up there.
There's
Do
no
it.
more
Where are you
up.
gonna
Do
go?
it, coward.
Coward. Sound like my friends when I was a teenager.
Do it and you're cool. Do it and you're cool.
Is there? We may not be leaving the city anytime soon, but are there any outstanding things that you need that we may be able to aid with?
I don't want to distract you from your saving the world. So I'm sure that anything that I need, I can have my small army of helpers take care of for me.
Well,
Have you been mining a lot of ore from the mountains still?
Oh yes, every day we have multiple teams going to and from the mountain. You had mentioned previous there was a beast of some kind, no?
the Hammoth of sorts, yes.
I think we may have seen it once, but overall maybe we've just been lucky. We've not seen it again. Count our blessings, I suppose.
Perhaps you've been going different times, same time of day.
Sort of all day, every day.
Perhaps it moved on or perished.
Maybe, I'm not certain.
Oh, sad Behemoth.
Mm.
We did give it a thorough walloping, and then we moved on to a different hunting area.
Oh, perhaps.
I ask because we may be able to assist in carrying large quantities of material from the mountain.
Do you have multiple wheelbarrows or wagons or something?
Something like that.
We'll have more information later.
All right.
We'll let you get
Yeah,
back to it.
if you need, if there is occasion for it, I may take you up on it. Thank you.
It's the least we could do for items given.
Yes, come back tomorrow. I will have your new armor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will put it to good use for sure.
I'm certain you will. If you thoroughly mangled your last piece of armor, I'm hoping that this one can hold up better.
Question. Will it grow with him if he gets a little bigger? Say he has too big of a meal.
That's a very good question.
Do not think it is malleable, no.
Council just slaps his arms out of
Tizal looks at him with the
Revan just pulls out his gun and just.
Tizal looks at him with the eye.
You get that one. Okay.
And no, I don't think it would. No.
Do you know of anyone who may have any raw alchemite for trade?
No.
That's fine. Just a curiosity.
I'm trying to think of out of game if you would know. No. No, because the dwarven that they've come out of the mountain do not have feet. The armor actually that I have made for you is made of spent alchemite. It is of used alchemite.
And that is equivalent to metal in mitigation?
Of what we have seen, yes.
No, it's awful.
Yes, it's actually, as far as we have seen, it is better than any of the materials we have been able to use of just the plain ore.
Fascinating.
How have you been forming this?
With extreme heat. Much hotter than
malleable under enough heat.
Yes, just like ore or glass, just much hotter.
We have new material for your next set of armor.
This armor's made of very specific material to.
The corpses of your enemies, right?
It requires material that was once living.
The chasm door looks like, just hammering away.
It's more conductive. Energy.
The bones of drawn children adored me.
Yeah, any of the dwarven that are around, there is the kind of that like, what is he? Go back to work and like try to ignore anything that they're hearing.
See, it's creepy when people manufacture things out of flesh. Jeez.
A suit of armor made of spent alchemite of this sort. I don't think any living creature has the muscle density to move that on their own.
True.
Tizzle fluxes.
You can't see it because it's beneath
How much
feathers.
strength does Tizzle have?
Like my stat?
At
Yeah.
least 24.
Yeah, like 30, 14.
14. Well, thank you for your time, Joe.
You're very welcome.
I will be back tomorrow.
Let's go see the Manchester.
While,
The temple first.
while you go to the Magister to ask about the compass, I would like to go see the Dark Master quickly, if I may. I will meet you at the temple.
Oh, I'm interested in also seeing the Dark Master, but I also want to talk to the Magister. This is quite the conundrum for me.
I thought you said Dark Master. Just like,
I'm interested in seeing the Dark Master.
He is the
Revan,
Dark
we need to go
Master.
talk to your
Wait,
patron.
what did you say?
The Dark
Dark Master.
I also thought you said
The Dark Master.
you were
The leader of my
whole
people is
side
known as
quest
the
I'm
Dark.
unaware of here. What is going on?
Yeah, there's
We don't have to role play it out. Council could just be not there. He basically wants to go and ask the Dark Master if he has seen any elm. With all the people fleeing,
Oh, sure.
there may have been more. That's what it is.
Okay.
He may not be there for the Magister thing.
Okay, so you leave, go to the Dark Master.
All the way
Would
down.
you share
Yeah.
that that's what the reason you were going?
If people ask, yeah.
Tizzle would probably ask.
Yeah, Council would say he wants to know if any elm are fleeing.
Ask him if anyone fits the description of this jackal. Maybe while you're at it. If he saw everyone that came in town. To report.
If they knew that, they probably would have caught him. I will ask, but
no doubt the Dark Master is aware of the jackal.
Council will also keep an ear out for any metal jingling while walking. It's conscious top of mind.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. We'll resolve you before the Magister, because I think a lot's going to happen at the Magister. Going down to the docks, what you see when you leave the... Let me pull up the map on my screen so I can point it out to you here. Basically, when you leave out of the southern gates of the Dwarn district, you see that there is kind of a fresh path that has been carved, heading almost due west. So whereas you traveled down this road to get to closer to the temple and to where you guys were building the wall, there is now just kind of a new path that seems to be mostly just trampled, like lots of foot traffic going on.
Just gate to docks, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. And when you arrive at the docks, what you see is it's basically they essentially tore up the old docks and just placed them here, and just moved them piece of lumber by piece of lumber. Because now that they no longer need the docks in the north, they relocated them down here. Again, kind of behind where this wall, inner wall of the city sticks out into the ocean, so it does create something of a cove.
Okay.
So they have the harbor there.
Did we get a clear reason as to why the docks were moved that I missed?
The barrier.
Yeah, the barrier, ships can't get in or get out, so
Oh,
there's
okay.
there's nothing they can do with it now.
Okay.
So any of the ships that were in the harbor, those then became like they essentially just took them apart. They couldn't get them out of the cities. They took them apart, and those have now been used for doors and other projects around town.
Sucked.
Yeah,
Sorry, I can take a ship down.
it was like 2 ships, so not a big deal.
So many doors.
Right. But the docks, the harbor, what you can see is they have constructed 2 massive trebuchets on the docks. And when you're speaking with the dockmaster, he explains that due to the document that you had given to the High Magister, they've started using the red alchemite basically as siege weaponry against any of the non that tried to come and attack the city. So they constructed these large trebuchets to be able to attack out at sea, and then they have taken the old crossbows from the Dwarn area, like the area outside of town, and they've basically set those up as like tripods along the dock, so that they have like defensible the positioning there.
Nice. Console's just like, I love it.
Yeah. And you can see, like, even as you are talking, they're setting up additional, like, makeshift tripods along the dock. They're kind of like guys carrying, like, 1 or 2 crossbows, like, as they are walking there.
Cool.
Also along the path, you pass by a couple of these structures that you had passed previously in the Elm area that are now inhabited with people. There are people who have like set up fences around it and are like trying to like till the ground and like make some kind of life for themselves here. There are several you can see that are just kind of serving as like hostels, where multiple people live. Don't really seem to like have any like anything outside of them, no like farm area or anything outside of them. You can see that there's lots of foot traffic here.
Yeah, cool.
And he explains that he hasn't seen any elm that have come into or out of the city.
Council thanks him for his time, gives any advice on further defenses or efficiencies, and goes back.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so that takes you probably at least better part of the day to get down there and back.
Sure.
So we'll go to you guys going to the High Magisters. You go to the High Magister, and similar to the night before, there's nobody in the courtyard, even in the middle of the day. You do hear when you get up to the top of the stairs, the Magister inside is talking to Danny, kind of instructing him, just like having him read from certain books and practice certain spells or whatever to kind of hone Danny's magical ability. My goodness.
Every like 10 songs, there's just one moment.
There's one just like intense one. Like,
aggressive harmonica.
calm down. Juniper.
We in the bayou.
All right, let's go to this one then. And of course, all of this is happening while it's still raining outside.
Oh, it's been raining all day.
Yes, it has been.
Council enjoys the rain. Freaking desert.
Yeah, it's been raining for the better part of the day.
Does Tizzle feel uncomfortable in the rain now?
No, doesn't feel uncomfortable in the rain. No, I mean at least not any more than he used to. Right. Luckily, due to you being a bird, your wings are mostly waterproof, so any like water just kind of rolls off of you. The couple of places where you do have the scars and the rain touches, it's an unusual feeling. Just like every once in a while, like most of the time you're walking, there's no problem, and it'll just be like something will hit that scar tissue and just kind of make you flinch just a little bit. But that's it. Nothing terrible. You're not like overly conscious about
I'm not a fire type Pokemon that's weak to water.
Right, yeah, you're not taking poison damage from the water. It burns like acid. No, nothing like that.
Is Wonder experiencing something similar?
Because
Wonder's thrilled with the rain.
Yeah,
Thrilled with the
You love the rain. You already had cracks in your bark and stuff just naturally, and so it's not an issue for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't notice anything.
Okay.
So we approach the Magister.
Yeah. So you get up to the outside of his door, and you can hear him talking inside to Danny. Knocking on the door, he comes to it and lets you in. And immediately upon seeing Tizal with the thing in his eye, just, what on earth happened to you?
Battle in the desert. Let's leave it at that.
Sensitive topic.
A bit.
I don't mean any harm.
Council at distance.
I'm sorry to hear that, whatever it was that got the better of you for some period of time. I hope that you gave it at least equal measure of a wobbling back.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, you said that you have a metal ship last night, I believe.
That is correct. You want to come see it?
Absolutely.
How about that?
I barely slept last night. I've been thinking about it.
Bring Danny. I'm not there.
Did we tell Council and Revan? Did Revan go with?
Revan's with us.
Yeah,
Was
Reverend.
it just Council?
Yeah.
Does where are we gonna meet Council?
We did not agree on it.
Nice.
So I assume we meet here.
Well,
Let's give council time to catch up and redo the ship last.
We specifically had a plan that we were going to come here, talk to the Magister, and then after that,
Go to the temple.
go to the temple and
let's
visit.
let's walk and talk, shall we?
Council did say I'll meet you.
All right. Sure. That sounds like a plan.
We'll go look at we'll show you where it is. If you want to go look at it later as well, you're welcome.
All right.
Try not to draw too much attention to it, though.
All right.
There's trouble in the town, as you said.
All right.
Do we leave the gates or do we just peek from the guard towers?
Leave the gates.
I'd be more interested in seeing it up close.
Maybe introduce you to its steward.
Whatever
We have
that
a
means.
friend of
Right.
ours watching it.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I'd be interested in that. Let me first just change, and you see him kind of like walk off to the side, and he kicks off some like pair of indoor shoes that he has, and he like puts on some like outdoor like sandals essentially.
The same shoes, just different.
Yeah,
treads on the
yeah,
bottom.
different color. He has dark blue ones for inside. He's got like a nice tannish brown pair for outside.
Wizard loafers.
Yeah. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
We set a brisk pace.
Okay.
Ship.
Cool.
If no one else has anything besides small talk to talk to him about, I have one question that Felix has.
The compass. Revan wanted to ask about the compass. So Revan, please speak to the Magister. We all sit and watch.
Yar, can you fix me compass? Oh, well, absolutely. That sounds great. Thank you kindly.
Oh no.
There is some conversation. I'm not going to play it out though, where Revan does pull out the compass and ask if the Magister has the ability to look at it or investigate it more, see what he can learn, maybe fix it like he did before, which the Magister takes naturally. Says absolutely. And you see he does some wavy stuff with his hand and hands it back to Revan. Revan takes it and kind of looks at it, and it's not working. And the Magister then explains that it takes time, similar to the first time that you had it. It would take some period of time before it was actually like attuned to him as a person, and at that point he would be able to use it.
So what you did to it was break the previous attunement?
Essentially, in this case, however, man, just some
It's so weird.
bangers. Here we go.
There
It says in this case, it's less about breaking the former attunement as it is about coaxing the item itself to being reattuned to. Not that the items have a personality of their own, but there is a sensitive sort of magic about them that has to be convinced to be attuned to someone.
Could you teach me?
I could certainly try. Sure. If you want to come by the tower sometime, I can teach you. Certainly at least try. No harm in it.
This may sound stupid. You say convince the item to reattune?
Hey,
Could we have influenced it or convinced it to unattune itself to the holder?
well, there certainly seems to be some pattern of if the former owner has passed away, that is a case where it needs to be reattuned. There also seems to be if the compass or if the item is handed off, it is purposely given away. Whether that be to someone, I'm assuming if you were to give it away but to no one, it would just become inert, like it was now.
So, but having given it to wander.
Well, it was discarded, wasn't
It was
Yeah,
discarded.
right.
Was it after Wander was given to Wander? Did Revan give you the compass?
He did. But I don't.
And did it work?
No, it did not work for me.
Okay. Was this after he discarded it?
May have been after.
Yeah.
It was after I had thrown it into the sand because I didn't appreciate the beauty that it was.
He wasn't in the right state of mind.
Revan's not that mindful.
It's true, I was stricken with much sadness in the desert, thinking of home and of me crew.
But was it
He
your first mate?
he waxes philosophical for a little bit.
There were some strange things about the desert. It affected us psychologically.
Be interested to hear more about that sometime. Maybe not right now. Obviously, we've got things
We
to.
have like a whole hour to walk over there and back.
Before we talk about that, I have noticed, and he points to the gun on Revan's hip. He says, that seems to have a similar feel to it. There's no other way of saying it. Do you mind if I inspect it? And Revan kind of pulls it out, like looks at it for a long second. Aye. And hands it over to the Magister, which point he just shoots you all in the head.
Got him.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys.
No.
Oh,
He.
that was a wild ride.
I actually appreciate
This is the longest TPK I've been building up. Man,
They just gave me the gun. You
they
guys
just
wouldn't
gave
believe
it to me. The Magister was the big bad all along.
Shoves the gun into his chest.
Yep. Yep. Pulls the trigger and infuses himself with the power of God.
Gun.
Yep. He takes the gun, does a similar sort of like magic on it, and hands it back to Revan. It says, "You'll find out more, I guess, in a bit when you attune to that one."
Did Revan give his gun away? Did he throw it?
It happened.
I think Revan gave his gun away when we went to go see the leader of the Chasm Board, right? Didn't he have to give his firearm away?
No.
No.
Changed.
It changed when we went to go see them. Yes?
Aye.
Aye.
When we went to see Lodvar, because people have names in this world and they're important and you should remember them. How dare you?
I do have a good memory.
I have the best of memories. When we went and saw Lodvar, it changed from me old pistol that I had custom made for me to whatever this is.
Insight.
Insight to
Yeah.
Revan?
This is custom pistol he had made for him?
To Spencer playing Revan.
Go ahead.
Or it turned into. Hang on. Did he have? Is he suggesting that he had his custom pistol?
His career.
Mm-hmm.
Was the thing that he started a campaign like with us with
Yes.
the fancy thing, and then it changed into
The item. Because it was unattuned, it turned back into the relic. Right?
No.
No.
So we met.
So
we met Revan. Pistol was fancy.
yeah, it was the like fancy. It had like the tentacles along it. It was like
it looked like a
right.
ocean-based warlock pistol.
Correct.
And then Lodvar.
Yep, you went to see King Lodvar.
Think throne room stripped enchantments, something like that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Gun turned into what we have now,
Correct.
and now that it's reattuned, it might turn back into. And then Revan just said that it was custom made for him.
Correct.
Okay.
When it was custom made, did it look like the way it does now?
No, the one I had made was much fancier than this. It had you've seen it. It had the tentacles and it was beautiful. Not this little pistol that I'm holding now.
The one that has the Dwarf D
Yeah.
for David.
Right, that one. Correct. This one.
That's on all of our other
It's not
artifacts.
mine. I had it custom made for me. It was beautiful. By a smith on the pillars. He specialized in crossbows, but I had this idea for him. And he made it. And it was beautiful.
Where'd you get this idea?
Came to me.
A vision, perhaps.
A dream, maybe. A vision. Call it whatever you want.
Okay, is he telling the truth?
Make an insight check, sure.
What's
the
the
origin
origin
of
of
this?
Like Dalen?
Right?
6.
Jack just rolled 6 to be honest, so he must have a really good one.
No, I grabbed 2, but then I rolled a 6. That's not going to be enough.
What a D5.
So that is
Roll the
7.
D6 and then subtract.
The 7. Alright. As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth. He seems genuine in what he's telling you.
We should ask more questions to make him make decisions about Revan's backstory.
Do you think, perhaps, that at some point in my journey, someone pulled a fast one on me, and I got this gun, which looked like my gun, and my gun is now gone and out there somewhere in the
You
world.
do have a habit of being reverse pickpocketed, so to say.
That's true.
This is true.
Things just seem to end up in those coat pockets of yours.
I'll have to
Maybe
ponder
he's
on
a
it.
thief.
No,
It's a
Is your coat man?
Don't have to roll on that.
not that I'm aware of.
Got
Yeah, the
a D
little
on it.
tag on the inside, it's embroidered with a Dwarn D. Not that I'm aware of.
Just curious what happened there.
Only time will tell.
So when you were given that gun, did you possess the gun and have it smithed, or did the smith make it for you?
He made it for me.
Which guns?
Doesn't seem so far-fetched when I think about it.
Counts as twitching as conspiracy more. Just a
If we didn't know, this is the only gun of this weapon that has been seen throughout these lands, presumably. The fact that another smith, someone else, just make you one from scratch seems.
What he is.
Well, again, I was the one who gave him the pattern for it.
Which came to you in some sort of dream or vision.
I
It's the only explanation for it.
Aye.
Some greater being has bestowed that idea on you.
Well, I get my powers from somewhere.
Curious.
Anyway, I guess we'll find out what this one's all about.
Yes, it's best we never talk about it again.
And that's the same pistol.
Just never bring it up.
Bring it up again?
What? Sorry?
The same pistol that I saw in my vision.
From what you saw in your vision, it looks identical. You guys then walk the rest of the way to the ship, unless you'd like to ask
Sneezes.
additional questions.
Magister whole time just like,
That is quite the conversation you're having.
To
Where's the
change-
ship?
To change the subject,
Aye.
what happened to all those red collars?
Well, the alchemite was taken out of him and is being now used as weaponry to keep back the Nan from coming into the southern district of the city. The metal itself was handed over to Joan.
The metal's not. That makes sense.
Were you
That's
looking
why
for the alchemite? Yes, that's being used by being deployed by the town guard in the
why
southern district.
You can inhabit the southern part without much of a problem. So
Aye. Yes, we're able to quite effectively keep the Nan at bay. You'll have to thank Council when we see him next.
when we see him next, shame he isn't here.
It is a right shame, isn't it? Let's all take a moment and
speed
think
reading
about it.
I return my body to my own.
But yeah, we can get the boat or whatever. I
Right.
don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been talking for
We
quite a
don't have to
while.
heartbeat the whole thing, but I would ask about the jackal.
I'm not too certain about it. I've heard, obviously, what has been shared as part of our council. I know what Captain Verneth knows, but I'm not privy to any special information on the subject.
If you hear anything, let us know.
Yeah.
I think this is something we would like to assist with.
You do know, so the one thing he does share is there's no, like, pattern that they've seen. I mean, there's only been, like, the 3 incidences,
So
basically.
it's only been 3 incidents?
Yeah. Essentially, it's been, like, one a week, though,
Right.
where there was a break-in, and then there was another break-in, and then there was the murder last week.
And all these were in the south?
No, these have all been in the north.
All been in the north.
Yes. So but there's no, like, patterns, like, where they happened
Right.
in the north, just they're in the northern district. What is that? Man, why? Why?
It's the jackal. He's trying to distract us from the conversation.
Calm
And
down.
were they burglaries or robberies?
What's the difference?
Burglaries, there's no one there. Robberies, there are people there.
It's robbery.
Okay.
Yeah, so there were people in the homes who heard and saw things.
Okay.
And now the music is not even playing. Oh, there we go.
It's like a volume equalizer. So it's like it's way too quiet, and it just pumps it up. And then
Whisper. Music!
I love that song.
It's my favorite song. When that beat drops.
Where they just yell.
Music! No.
give music like 500 years, man. That's what it's gonna be.
I don't know. Don't wish that on the world. Don't unleash that on us. Or upon our great grandchildren. You continue walking, having conversations about the jackal, about the magister and things. That half hour later, roughly, Revan, as he's walking, just kind of collapses into the sand.
This guy.
And when he wakes up, he tells you about the vision about the compass, about the same vision that he had previously. He tells you, I mean, in detail, just tells you about about this Iran. Yeah, mysterious Iran, who had the compass and accepts the challenge that is placed before him and slams the compass down onto the large stone tablet of a table and then storms off. And the vision ended. He gets up and you guys continue walking for a little
See, I'm
ways.
gonna learn how to reset the attunement and just do that to him every morning.
You be in the middle of combat and he just out.
Felix chuckles. Tactical narcolepsy.
You guys, I had a vision.
Oh my gosh!
You like reset his memory every day. Like Groundhog Day.
Oh no! Sorry, my page reset where I have sensitive information.
You may as well quit.
Yeah, we can just stop here.
I mean, good thing the campaign ended
over.
like 20 minutes ago. When we
Yeah.
were
Yeah, when he shot you all in the head. Yeah.
With a deal, it was like a 1d8 weapon. That's great.
Uh-huh.
point blank.
We're living the epilogue right now.
Uh-huh. This was actually all just a dream. You wake up
Sitting at Jack's house.
in Jack's basement.
This is actually a modern day campaign.
Yep.
I want a lost
Yeah.
ending. I want us to all be dead.
Yeah, well, you were dead the whole time. This has just been purgatory, and I am the devil.
That tracks.
I don't know what that means.
That was actually what got me reading. The ending of Lost made me so furious. I was like, I cannot get my stories from television shows anymore. I started reading fiction again for the first time in 15 years.
Oh, really?
Because J.J. Abrams made me so angry.
You're just reading on a spiked freaking. Yeah, I love this.
J.J. Abrams. Stupid story. Yeah, about
Amazing.
5 minutes later, walking, Revan collapses again.
Wait.
The gun.
And he sees a slender female elm stands at the sea's edge. The sky is overcast and gray. She takes a simple leather traveling bag off of her back, placing it on the ground to her side. She bends down and carefully removes the plain yet elegant slippers from her feet, letting her toes sink into the wet sand. She crouches down and shifts the bag in front of her, making sure to place her shoes neatly out of the way. She uncinches the string holding the bag closed and takes out a small package, leaving others for the time being. An object wrapped in a silk handkerchief and tied with plain frayed rope. She takes a deep breath and swallows hard. She delicately unties the knotted rope around the package and places the rope with great care in her bag. She stares at the parcel in her hands. And tears begin forming in the corners of her eyes, and her shoulders start to shake. She waits, and the moment passes, and without a whimper or sob to be heard, she wipes away the tears on the sleeve of her elegant and gray gown and takes a deep breath, collecting herself. She unwraps the gift to find a familiar, intricately designed pistol waiting just where she had left it. Upon seeing it, she winces almost imperceptibly. She stares at it for a moment too long and turns her head away as the tears start to reform. Not wiping the tears away this time, but instead letting them flow freely, she rises to her feet and looks towards the sea. The wind off the seashore and the oncoming storm whips her hair about her face and stings her cheeks. There's an unreasonable chill in the air today. She steps forward into the water only enough to dampen the bottom of her gown. She dare not walk further. She looks at the weapon in her hand and then back out at the waves. And she again takes a deep breath and closes her eyes. After a moment of stillness, she takes the weapon in her right hand and throws it as hard as she can, tumbling clumsily end over end into the sea, hoping to never see it again. The last thing you see before the vision fades, as the pistol sinks beneath the waves, is the elm maiden turning her back and returning to the shore. which Revan explains to all of you in great detail when he wakes up.
Oh, thank you.
He said that he would share that freely.
And do you mind DMing me that?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'll
thank you.
post
I
it.
started typing. I'm like, I'm listening.
I'll post in the chat.
Huh.
Well, that was quite the occasion. Let's keep walking. And not talk about it.
Not every day someone has a vision of a murder weapon being cast to sea.
Curious. And he kind of holds up the pistol in his hand.
What does it look like? Now that's attuned.
It looks just like the same pistol. It hasn't changed how it appears or anything. Yeah, it looks like the one from that he's had for the last couple of weeks. So this is a weapon that was used to murder a god. But why? And he just kind of goes silent and holds the gun in his hand.
Had we shared the other visions with the Magister? No.
The Magister, hearing all this for the first time, is just like, "You said what now? I need more wine."
Every marked item in our possession, after some time to attune, met the attune tree with a blackout in a vision.
I'm familiar with the visionings.
The compass, the gun, the abar.
What did you? What? I just heard the re-description of the compass and description from this item. What was learned from the hammer?
I give them the whole vision, how the gun was used to kill, presumably Galen.
So we have. Bless you. We have, it seems, a case of a scorned lover.
All of these relics were made by Galen.
How are you aware of that?
Has his mark.
I'm assuming you guys show him the different marks on it.
Let's take our word for it.
Yes, listen, bro.
Just listen.
It has a D on it.
Listen,
There
bro.
is no other Dorn in history who has the name that starts with D. So
Oh well, that is pretty damning evidence.
And there was a D on a bell as well, correct?
Temples.
so maybe we should attune ourselves. to those
Aye,
bells.
but that was a common D. That wasn't a dwarven D.
Is it not the same D?
No,
We just assumed.
it's not the same. They're clearly different, and he draws out the dwarven D in the sand, and then he draws just a normal common D. Says they're not the same.
I thought they were the same.
I thought they were the same. This is terrible news.
Am I the only one who noticed they were different?
Yes.
Yar, I'm traveling with a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I can't read Dorn, I guess.
I got the one eye.
Council's not there.
That old song and dance.
I don't exist.
Regardless, I think the running theory that we have, or at least I have, is that each of the gods, there is an item that was crafted for their place, and something must be done with those items. The compass, the pistol, the hammer, and then there was another item that the high priestess possessed. High priestess of the non possessed.
Oh,
The mirror.
There was the mirror that the High Priestess
There's
had.
a mirror that was used to find Revan, and all of the common themes seem to point to Revan as being some type of influential figure in all of this. The compass was left on him. Now it seems like his pistol was potentially swapped without his knowing.
Well, that's only two. I don't know if I'd say that all of them pointed
The
at me.
mirror being used to find him specifically.
To send one person on a side quest to find me. Yes, I agree. I don't think that there's necessarily a pattern there.
You're both
Thank you. Thank you for taking my side in this.
I don't think we should trust him yet.
Kill the Magister. Outside the city. No one will find his body. I have a theory of that. You said that the hammer was to be used as a key. Hey? You're going to be using it. Do you mind if I accompany you when you do that as well? Just to see if my theory's right.
I certainly don't see why not. Yeah. You may come along.
Certainly got time. I'll check in on Danny when we walk back past and make sure that he's
Make
reading
sure
a book.
you're ready for whatever might be on the other side. We do.
Oh, I'm not going down with you. I just want to test whether or not what I think is right is right.
We also don't know if that's keeping some things in that might come out. So, you being present, you may be in danger.
I mean, I took a journey down the passage for a while, so there's nothing obvious right on the other side of the door, but there certainly could be something deeper down in there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, that's some comfort. I started imagining all sorts of horrible things that could come out of there when they were talking. So thank you for that. Hey. We'll see.
Let's write both of our theories down and then we can compare them afterwards. So I know you didn't steal my theory.
What's your theory?
That's so wrong. I totally came up with this before you.
I still think one item classifies one part of the district that is encompassed in this city. So Oren is made up of different segments that are some are underwater. I think different in previous times there were different racial inhabitants, and each item corresponds to one different quadrant, and the item potentially can get you underneath or do something in the area. Or putting in all of the items could activate something in the center where the Kraken is, presumably the heart of the world. I don't know. That's my bird brain theory, if you will.
I was thinking something similar. We'll see. We'll see. Where's the ship?
It's right behind you.
Oh, here we are. There it is. Oh, that is quite the ship, isn't it? Yeah, you guys walk up and you see that it's just parked there nicely alongside the edge of the wall. There's no town guard anywhere to be seen. Nobody's looking at it or anything. You don't see a sledge. He's not like on top of the ship or anything. But it's just right where you left it.
I shout out to Sledge.
Beep.
At which point you see him kind of poke his head up from the stairwell. Like you hear him. I mean, walking around inside of a big metal ship, you can hear him clomp, 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 clomp up the stairs. Yeah, pops his head up. And at which point you just see the Magister like...
Like
was
cats
that?
looking like birds looking at each other.
What was that?
Just all joins in.
You said that he was like him. Like you.
In spirit, not
So-
in physical presence.
Very different than the typical fleshy
Metal instead of humanoid.
You said metal. Moving metal. Alive metal. Okay. This is the day.
I think you, Revan, and Sled should all have a conversation together over research.
I think that'd be great.
Sledge is a friendly fellow. Nothing to be afraid of.
Right. Lead the way, please.
Yeah, board.
Okay.
Show him around, introduce him to Sledge.
All right. As you are showing him around the ship and everything, he's just asking loads of questions. Just like, what does this do? How does this work? Why is this there? Why, like, where did this hole come from? Stuff like that. And yeah, I'm assuming you guys just
Felix answers as many as he can,
okay.
acting like the expert of the ship.
Sure. Yeah, he is just absorbing all of this information. Do you show him the big alchemite inside the ship, like in the compartment under the stairs?
That powers the cannons.
Yeah, the battery essentially.
Oh yeah.
You show him that. When you show him that, he just goes off on questions like how does it work? How does it charge? Like, how do you get the charge out? Do you think that this could be used like for Orin? Do you think that this is a weapon? Do you think that it could be used as a weapon? Is this how your suit works? He's just
Currently being used in work.
This is a mode of transportation now.
right, but I don't mean this specific piece. I mean, if we had
We could replicate the technology.
I think the barrier is powered by something similar. No?
do you think?
Put the alchemite stones in the holes and the barrier came up.
Mm-hmm. This one.
Oh, see, I had formed an alternate theory. So certainly that could be. You were saying?
This one seems to be able to take energy from the sails that get it from the sun.
You said the sails are made of dragon skin.
Appears so.
Where did they get that? You see him
How much
pull out a
dragon?
notebook and he just starts kind of like writing some things down just about the ship.
It's from a previous age. Maybe these materials are more easy to come by at the time.
That certainly could be true. And yeah, I hadn't considered that. Well, if it was made in a previous age, who is it made by? Or who's it made for? Who's it made with?
I think you've run out of prepositions.
Yeah, I think that I have as
Who's
well.
it made? Why?
Who's it made under? Who's it made over? Who's it made inside of?
Noon. Everything comes back to noon.
No, our friend Sledge here seems to be connected to it somehow. I think whoever made Sledge made the boat as well.
And do we have any theories as to who made Sledge?
My only guess would be Dwarn. If Dwarn existed in the time before.
From what I've known, all of the mortal races have been around for quite a while.
They've always, at least the Dwarn of this time, were more mechanically inclined than the other races. Although, he looks over at Sledge and like, is he about hewn height and build?
He's certainly taller than like the average dwarf, if that's what you're thinking.
So his appearance is of a human. Is that
Maybe. I mean,
Is he more slender than a human?
no, he's very stocky. I mean, he is like, it's like more like plate mail in that like he's more bulky. He's not like iRobot, like
Oh, okay.
slender,
So if one were
fast
to,
robot.
Not like an elm physique.
Right.
if one were to think that maybe the race that made them in likeness of themselves, my guess it could also be human.
I've certainly never heard of Hune being able to craft things so magnificently. They always seem more the boat building type. That was a sick dig, bro. I always seem more inclined to shipbuilding than robot building.
But
Although this is a ship.
You make a good point there. And this is a civilization long gone. No one inhabits the desert, at least that side of the desert.
We're assuming that the boat came from a civilization and wasn't a rogue actor of some kind out on their own.
There were many, I guess I would call them corpses of the automata like Sledge here. So at least they were fairly commonplace.
Well, I think if I was captaining my own ship, I certainly would like to have more help aboard the ship. And if I made all of the help, perhaps they're there to help one. Or perhaps it was made for them. I'm not certain. Just thinking.
We didn't see another ship, so it's not a bad theory.
And you said that this worm that you faced, it is what made the hole in the bottom and pierced through. Any fear that this creature followed you, or that it would potentially come over here and attack Oren? Do we have to be?
It would have to follow us through the forest to the south, which is made of the assuming soil that the trees grew in. No sand for the worm to travel through. Was it dirty and soily?
Yeah, it was soil
trees
there.
were-
Yeah. Dirt. Yeah, more dirt than sand. So potentially it might be able to slow it down if it's more accustomed to tunneling through sand. That's certainly true.
This is probably just a beast of working off of instinct and hunger.
I see.
I don't know if it would go through the trouble of all that just to track us down.
Right.
I would like to get a hold of some of the bones that were able to pierce this hull, though.
Absolutely, that would be. I'd like to have one to just hang up in my office. That would be fantastic, just as a specimen to look at. Don't know if I'd learn anything from it, but
A waste of good material, but I suppose it'd be amusing.
it certainly would. More than anything else, it'd be amusing. Well, is there anything else to learn about this ship?
No, plenty, I bet.
And at that point, Sledge kind of chimes in. He says, I found something overnight while inspecting the ship for damage from the tree. I found... He goes back downstairs into the ship. And he comes out with this small, like, leather pouch. No bigger than, like, that big. And inside he pulls out a piece of clear alchemite. Or at least a clear crystal of some kind. He said, I heard it crackling within the ship. I am not certain what it is for.
Can I see?
didn't?
Yes. There is a compartment under the helm. I heard a crackling behind the metal and I investigated.
It's clear alchemite, not
It is.
raw alchemite.
It is clear in color. So you have seen that be raw alchemite before.
Okay.
But didn't Casimir's imbued alchemite that didn't have an elemental property, wasn't that also clear?
It was.
There was also the merchant woman inside the mountain.
She had white alchemite.
She had white.
That
This is
now,
clear.
Correct.
That is now white alchemite.
That's right. Yeah, you traded. Yeah.
Yeah, so
At least one of the pieces. I think it was
It
one for
could have.
one.
Yeah.
something non-elemental.
It is. Yeah.
Like sound.
I
And not sure.
Do you mind if I take this to someone I know of who knows about
It is
this
yours.
alchemite?
You may do with it what you want.
Felix puts it away.
Do you want the baggie?
Puts it in the bag.
Put it in this little small leather bag before you tuck it away.
Slash safe bag.
Right. The fact he understands the language enough to understand the E at the end.
Yep.
It's a little
The little baggie. Just a little bag.
Just picturing that meme on Reddit where it's Ozzy Osbourne in the early 80s holding a white plastic bag with a bunch of white powder in it, and the caption was, "How much sugar Ozzy Osbourne puts in his coffee in the morning." It's like 2 fingers along a whole sandwich bag of white powder.
Oh my gosh.
I remember seeing someone at SCB do that once. When I came in and I was putting stuff in the fridge. Making coffee. Someone from marketing.
They put cocaine in
I
there.
was chatting with them, like, I saw you on your scooter. That was really cool. That's great. I was like 4 things. I was like, yeah. You could probably run faster than me over doing that. Alright, you do
I
you.
like my sugar with coffee and cream.
Yeah, would you like some coffee with your sugar, G?
Yeah.
Does syrup have sugar in it?
Yeah.
Then yes.
All right. And at that point, it's 9 o'clock, so we can call it.
Sure. I'm just never leaving the group again.
Yeah, why would you?
That was
Such a
terrible.
dumb decision. You guys, you know you're not supposed to split the group, and what do? You split the group.
Counsel's
Numerous
just
times.
sneezing and just like, oh, I feel like I'm missing something.
Luckily, we're never going to talk about it again.
Yep, never bring it up.
179 lines tonight.
Yeah.
What?
179 lines tonight.
Is that the most?
No, 187 is.
Oh, that's right.
We're close.
But those, yeah.
Quick, 8 more interesting facts. Council has 6 toes on his left foot.
I killed Inigo Montoya's father.
With your foot?
Yeah.
Yes.
his
For the
foot.
roundhouse kick?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just Chuck Norris kicked him to the face.
With knives attached to his foot.
Well, yeah, you have to. Actually, you'd probably be more like Voldo, if anything. Like, just like the backwards over
Voldo
the
was
top
cool.
kick. It was super cool.
There was this one creepy kid in high school that mained Voldo. He didn't talk much, goth kid. But he would occasionally come over and hang out. And he mained Voldo. It was just horrifying. Because he would just play it as this horrible creature, BDSM blade wielding thing. Like, oh my god, dude.
Cool,
Are you
man.
familiar with Voldo?
Oh,
from
yeah.
Soul Calibur?
Pull up a picture.
No.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
I'm just gonna see what the.
He was basically, he was instructed to guard a tomb of like
There you go.
an old mafia,
There you go. There's some
Um,
good pictures of him.
and he was never allowed to leave. So he's like he's super pale. There he is. But he's real creepy.
Oh wow.
I believe his eyes had been gouged out, which is why
Yeah,
he
he's
has
blind.
The, yeah.
He's got like a gag on.
Yeah,
That's
like-
actually a less creepy version.
That doesn't seem that
That's
I
the one.
found-
That's the one from Soul Calibur 2.
Did you find fan art of Voldo?
Just don't.
It's-
Whatever
I
you
can't
do,
tell who
don't.
it
There,
is.
that-
Don't put Rule
34?
Okay.
Yeah, definitely like wearing chaps.
Yeah.
of
We gotta
some
see
kind.
his motions.
Yeah. His,
Oh, yeah.
His fighting style
Put
is
someone like
real creepy.
put someone else's head on Voldo's body.
Like imagine the worm, but lethal.
Go to the. I don't know who that is, but that's Voldo's body.
Undynamical. Oh, is that a real engine? Interesting.
Adam's.
Ugh. Trail of Two Swords. Yeah, we get it.
But here's the.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh, what's going on?
Oh yeah, there.
There. So that's how he fights you.
Okay.
Lots of hugs.
He looks less. Yeah, there's the crawl.
Yeah.
Like poltergeist crawls at you.
I would want to slap whoever made this guy back in the day.
It's so creepy.
Yeah, like the backwards fighting, like
It would
doing the
annoy-
bridge
It would
thing.
annoy me so much.
There you go. There's the worm.
Nope.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Thrust.
Yep.
ice
Definitely the
spikes.
thrusting into the air with the ice spikes.
Oh yeah, and he hisses.
Of course he does. Why wouldn't he?
No, thank you.
So my next character for D&D.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill off Council immediately because I want to see that happen.
We're gonna retcon that. That's what Council turns into every time he reads a journal.
Oh no!
Thrusting and all. That's how Tizal's eye came out.
I posted that GIF in our chat, and Adam is just gonna be like,
What
the-
happened?
This is the big bad Adam.
Yeah, we found it. We found the big bad.
That's what happens when an elm feels. That's why their entire society's like, never again! What do you mean 2% updates? Oh god.
Good questions, Crystal. I am also confused why nobody asked about those things.
I wasn't there!
Oh.
That's true. Nah, actually, I have perfectly good explanations for why nobody asked about those things. So.
Because Council wasn't there. I think he just said it.
It's hard to remember all these things.
Oh
I know.
my
We play
gosh.
once
I'm
a
so
month.
bad at lore in
Oh,
general.
I think it was because in Soul Calibur 6 there was a character creator,
See,
so you can make your own custom characters, but have them like use all the animations and like clothing and everything
I
of
can
the.
put my head on Voldo's body. That's
Yeah,
exactly what
that
I
is
want.
a. Nope, I'm good. I didn't play much of Soul Calibur 6. I haven't.
Oh, I got this in the mail. Does anyone want to give us like their kid or something? It's a little fidget spinner? Like,
Sure.
I don't know. If you don't want, I'll take it back home, man.
Oh, we can also turn off the stream now, by the way.
Bye, Crystals.
I mean, nobody's rushing to do it, so you don't have to say goodbye yet.
No. Not bye, Crystal.
Oh no!
It doesn't fit.
Oh, I completely forgot about the spider until now.
It's fine.
It's in your hair. That's all.
You still have a coherent notebook going?
Heck yeah. I barely write in it. This only holds like attacks. Like anytime you guys have fought, track
okay.
the battles in. So you have like
Your combat log.
yeah. There's cool. There's your initiative order. Here's your there's some numbers being crossed out.
Yep. I used my coherent notebook for quite a while.
Do you keep strikes for players? How much they annoy you until you kill them?
Yeah.
Standard.
Oh. This freaking guy. Alright, next bandit attack. This dude's dying.
Yep.